emotes. Love that.
Oh God, Ducky.
Huh.
I forgot that your TTS is still
Huh?
your
What?
Fugi.
Uh-oh.
What is it?
It's
Wait, did you go live?
yeah.
Like, are you on your gaming?
Oopsies.
Yeah.
Oh, then let me switch to mine.
Sorry. I just switched.
It's
Oh.
the
Uh-oh.
it's the fucking what's it? Lethal.
Yeah. No, not lethal. Content warning.
Or content, yeah. Close enough.
Yeah, whatever.
I have to turn off my boogie.
Gotta turn off your
Professional.
Fugi. Hell yeah, we're both professionals. It's fine.
Hello, Morsum.
Hi,
Stop speedrun,
Morsum.
baby.
I can actually see Yiggy's chat this time. So, hi. I'm now gonna talk directly to Yiggy's
concept.
chat.
Whoop.
I'm gonna get real close. Real personal.
Not my ass just accidentally hitting exit
Oh,
on Stardew.
oh no.
It's right next to the co-op.
It's okay.
So,
I'm just now opening my Stardew, so.
Eh. Here we go. Co-op. Host. I'm gonna wait for your game to open so that you can join quicker.
There we go.
You don't lose out on day.
In we go.
Oh yeah, shit farm.
Yeah, shit farm.
Oh.
Of
Oh,
course.
yeah.
The farm of shit.
Wait, where are my friends? Where did they go?
Right, the game
There they
is
are.
opening.
Oh god, my fucking dream pet is still stacked on top of y'all. It's a nightmare. There we go. There we go. We're all good again. I fixed it. I fixed the problem. We're all good.
Oh, I have geodes.
You what?
I have geodes, apparently.
Why can't I get in? Oh, there it is. Okay.
Hello?
I was like, where is it?
Let me in! Let me in!
And oh, hey, we got another ancient fruit.
Oh, hell yeah. The following players are present. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Your point? What's your fucking point? Yeah, I know they're present. They're my friend.
They're the present to my life. Where's my hoe?
I'm right here.
Damn.
Oh, there's a festival?
Yeah, there's a festival today.
Oh.
Today? I think today.
Apparently.
I think it's today.
It sure is. Fuck, guess I'm going to the mines then.
Oh, were you trying to go into the city?
Yeah, I was gonna go, get
The
sell off the
city.
geodes.
You know,
There's like 2 people that live there.
well,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
we can't dictate what the city means to others.
This is true.
I don't know, what defines a city?
I'm not really sure either.
I know there is, like, a definition.
You got to
I think
go
it's the
to
type of
city.
government, technically.
No.
You got to make it other side of this.
No, I thought it was the type of government.
And can you make
I don't
it in
think
the
so.
city?
I mean, we have the
baby?
fucking wealth of the world at our
Is
fingertips.
this just
What defines a
fucked up
city?
piece of air?
It's about population.
Gotta meet a place today.
Oh, wait, no, wait,
Gotta
hold on.
I want to make myself
No, I think Ducky was right.
alive. All the girls
As always,
say.
as always.
Gotta drive away today, maybe you're mine. Maybe you're mine. And it's always the
Alright.
same.
Oh,
Oh.
the fair.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, the title drop! Oh man, I got Ken!
Sorry, I wasn't trying to take your shit.
Get the fuck out of
Also,
here.
Rakia redeemed tree noises, so here, I'll do tree noises for Rakia.
If you need anything, you can check my chest too.
Okay.
I'm just looking through your boxes to
Sorry,
put
hang
your
on,
shit
tree
away.
noises?
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Hmm.
There are your tree noises. What is that over there? Wait, I see a ladder over there.
Morning, everyone. Can I get in? God damn. Alright, got duck eggs.
Wait. I don't have my pickaxe. Oh, right, I was getting there ready.
Yeah, it's upgrading, I think.
Oh, I have a, cutscene here.
I forgot we have a cow named Thong.
That's so base. It's Willy. What the fuck is he on? The boulder disappeared.
Who allowed me to name a cow Thong?
I mean, didn't we all
Yourself?
collectively, I guess?
I guess so.
I don't know what this means, Willy.
Oh yeah, we have the we named our other cow Mark.
We can start panning for ore. All right. I've actually done that IRL before.
I love
I'm taking a
milking.
flounder.
You're good. I love milking my male cow Mark.
Based? That is so based.
Thank you.
Hello?
Sometimes you just have to milk your male cows, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
God, fuck me.
On God or like?
I'm like tripping over myself.
I did jokingly say the other day, different like. I mean, I mean, do you want a blowjob for a job? I mean, if you don't want from me, I have a friend who will. I have permission to.
We only have until 2 o'clock to get into the town.
Oh shit, okay. I'm on my way.
Yeah,
Should I just take another fish?
Oh, I'm there. I'm ready.
Okay, I'm just
there.
gonna.
Oh, I got everything.
Oh, you do? Okay,
Wait,
bet.
what do we need? Wait, what do we
Yeah,
need?
you can
Oh.
just in case.
Okay, I'll bring a fish just in case, but I'm making my way over.
Okay.
What the fuck are you crunching on over there, man? What you snacking on?
Smoothie.
Wait, how did I get over here?
You know.
Right in your star token?
Cheetos.
Oh, Cheetos. Okay.
Look, it's the star token.
Well, it's the big day.
Listen, you can't just title drop like that, okay? Oh, this is where we're supposed to get his underwear for!
You can, yes.
Oh, that would have been so funny. Next year.
Whee!
Fair game.
Sorry, I'm at a game tent. Don't mind me.
Yeah, I'll try my hand at some fishing. I could win big.
Why do I feel like my Stardew Valley music is so much louder than y'all?
I don't know. Probably.
What
It
happened?
probably might be.
What happened?
Biggie, can you talk to Lewis for me? So he can go
No,
judge
I'm
our...
fishing.
Me and you
Alright.
immediately went to do the fishing minigame.
I don't know, it's the first one I clicked on!
It's the one I make the most money off of, so... Well, you know. Unless my game and model both freeze, in which
Oh no?
I will then be sent to the pits of hell.
Damn. Guess so. Fucked up.
That was hell right there.
What the-
Terrifying. I'm just gonna sit here and eat my Cheetos.
No, you're good.
Eating hot chip.
And lying. She's doing the
No,
best of
please.
both worlds. I need to eat my dinner because my child would not let me eat my dinner. She decided that her dinner...
I want fucking Domino's so bad.
I've consumed fish. Fish? Salmon is really good, though.
It is.
Who made salmon so good?
Growing up, I would never have just like straight up salmon, only as like guac on a like my bagel. Which like doesn't make sense because like that is salmon.
True.
Like shrimp, that's salmon. But like, I don't know, to me it was different.
Okay, there we
That
go.
was the thing we talked about last time. The whatever, or not last time. It was the thing I stole from you. The tweet I stole.
Yeah, yeah,
The aphid, whatever.
yeah. It sure was.
Yo, 480 star tokens from that. Wow.
God
Wait, who
damn.
am I talking to?
You were talking to
Who
Lewis.
is? Who is he? Who the fuck?
That is the man. I don't know. He's just here for fun.
All right. Wait, if I talk to him, does that mean we can't play games anymore?
No, that's not what that means. We can play games for as
Okay.
long as you want.
Cool. Awesome. Oh, we can get star.
He actually gives us more.
Star
He gives us more little star coins after he judges our setup.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
Hi, Kula. How are you? I love seeing
Think of stupid shit.
our points at the bottom.
Oh. Can
It's
I
just,
just like ignore this? Can I ignore him now?
yeah, pretty much.
Or do I need to? Oh, awesome. I love ignoring this man. Slingshot.
No, Ducky!
Ducky, no! On the festy of the festival?
Ducky said, I'm out of here.
Calm down. Oh. It says the event has to finish.
Before you can come back.
Oh,
Mhm.
oh no!
So- Make sure you buy everything.
Yeah, I will. I got you.
I'm sure Peach will.
Oh wait, no. It turns out you can't ignore him, Yiggy. He just freezes where he's standing
Oh.
and will
Well,
not
you'll
move
have
forward.
to fucking wait. I'm playing the slingshot game, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, he started walking over there, and then when you started playing the slingshot game, he just froze.
Let's go. 134 tokens. Oh. Congratulations, you won first place.
Oh,
1,000.
yeah. Oh yeah, I'll take all the stuff in the display box too.
Oh.
Yeah, we have to take all the
Alright,
stuff in the
what is
display
this?
box back.
So what other games are? Is there just the two? Wait, I'm gonna pick green. What if I just bet all of our tokens on green?
Well, we don't have shared tokens, so you'd be betting all of your tokens on green.
Oh, we don't?
No.
Oh. Main 200.
Hey, Yiggy, can you come grab this maple
did it!
sauce?
I won.
Yiggy, can you come grab all the
Maple?
maple syrup up here?
Maple sauce?
Yeah, you heard me.
I didn't even like process that, but yeah, what the fuck?
Oh fuck, my inventory is so full now. I've got so much
Do
shit.
you want me to hold stuff?
Well, I need to buy everything. Yeah, here, do you want to just hold this stuff if I chuck it at
Yeah.
you? Okay.
Yeah. I have open slot.
God damn it. I'm trying to like give it to you and it's not. Every time I drop it on the floor, it just ends up back in my inventory. Yiggy, come here. Oh, never mind. It flew back into my inventory. You gotta be closer
I mean,
to
we
me.
have to do the trade?
I can't do the trade because I don't have a.
Oh no?
Oh well. Okay. Well. I'm throwing away some of this stuff then.
Well, I got a rare crow.
Bet.
Wait, we can have a fedora? Right, so I assume star drops are like good to get, right?
Yeah, you grab the star drop for sure.
Oh, you can only get one?
I'm not sure. The taste reminds you of boobs.
Hell yeah!
I completely forgot. That's what I put in there. I'm gonna make fries and pour mozzarella cheese over them. Fuck yeah. I like how it's not like the taste reminds you of breast milk. No, the taste simply reminds you of boobs. Alright, I need to make more points. 1 second.
I'm playing slingshots again. So, are there only the 2 games? I forget what you said.
I'm not really sure. I only ever play the fishing one, so.
If you have your mod.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the taste of nice, sweaty tits.
Fuck.
So true.
So based.
An acquired taste. That is also true.
I would like to acquire this taste. Yes.
I would like to acquire it soon, preferably.
My accuracy was 100%, even though it wasn't actually perfect, but I'll take it.
Yeah, whatever.
Wait, do you really get more from... Wait, I'm gonna fucking gamble.
Ducky, did you get booted? Or did your Stardew crash?
Yeah, another 201.
I have to wait until the event is over.
Hang on, I'm trying to get to 2,000,
Well, I just
because
meant-
that's what matters,
I
right?
just meant in general, you getting kicked out.
Oh, shenanigans! I call
I
shenanigans.
just lost connection.
It's
okay, I'm eating my Cheetos.
Oh, have a good one. Do Cheetos not hurt your stomach? For whatever reason, Cheetos hurt my stomach.
They probably do.
Worth it, though.
You said yeah, probably.
Ooh-ah!
How'd you put boobs in mouth?
So true.
It's a good question, Kula.
I would also like to know. If you find out, let me know. Might be better at the slingshot.
Do you just want the, what all did you need? Just the ticket and the,
Oh, you only get one of the tickets also?
yeah. Well, you
Okay,
can get the
then yeah.
ticket, I believe. Can you not?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, get a ticket.
Oh fuck, then that means that I can't get the star drop.
No, you can't.
Oh!
Because I got the star drop and the
no.
ticket, and that's all that really matters to me, so.
I mean, do we want to just close out of the game and
And
then...
restart
No,
it
no,
No?
it's fine.
We'll buy her another one
These
later
star
on.
drops are important, aren't they?
Yeah, but you can get some later on, too.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't care.
Come on, fish. There's a stubborn one.
God, I look like a fucking
Oh
middle-aged
wait, because of
mom
your
in the
mod,
70s.
you can just like you fish up immediately. That's cheating.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no wonder
Yes, it is.
it's the best method for you.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for noticing.
Thank you for the resub, though, Kula.
Thank you for noticing that I cheat.
This fish is so stubborn. What the fuck? Thank you.
What the fuck? I broke the audio in my game for a second.
Oh. I'm gonna go back to slingshot.
Oh, Nico, thank you so much for the pet. How are you doing?
Fuck this shit. I ain't a cheater.
I am. Proud. Proud of it. I am a cheater and proud.
Thought you were a dog, not a cheetah.
I'm both. I'm a dog and I fuck other dogs' bitches. What about it?
That's so basic,
Damn.
actually.
I'm almost out of lemonade. I'm gonna cry.
The slingshot is actually pretty satisfying with the game.
I'm not any good at it, so I'm glad you are. See, these games require talent, which I don't have. So instead, I cheat.
Well, accuracy of 94%.
Because that's what you do when you don't have talent. You cheat.
Yeah.
174 star tokens that time.
My fries went
So let's
bad?
keep
What the
going.
fuck?
What do you mean they went bad?
Yeah, how did that happen?
What, did they rob a bank?
Damn, were they all wearing little bank robber masks whenever you pulled them out of the freezer?
Oh my god, so Diesel had the fucking funniest idea earlier?
Okay.
To fucking do a joke, like ASMR, right? A gooning ASMR.
Okay.
Gooning JOI, whatever.
Okay.
But instead it's like actually being like a goon and you're robbing a bank.
I love that.
It's fucking hilarious of an idea.
It's actual genius. Okay, my pockets are full.
I am moving now, DD. Speaking of Diesel.
Diesel's back.
Back again.
Oh no. Wait. It says when I try to leave, it says waiting for players 1 out of 3.
What?
Uh-oh.
So we might not be able to leave.
We're stuck here forever. Oh, the Stardew Festival? It don't end.
Ever.
You're here forever.
God, the Stardew
And
Festival
ever.
is Hotel California, apparently.
If we have to, it's fine. It's.
Well, whenever you're ready, try and leave and see what happens.
Let me try and leave. Because I don't want to waste the time and then,
Yeah.
like, have to do it all again, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we can't leave?
Oh my god.
Alright, I'll exit to title.
That is so
Yeah, no,
funny.
Diesel, we were talking about your amazing idea earlier.
Oh,
It's okay, Ducky, it's okay.
God. Ugh.
We'll survive.
God.
I'm gonna take a sip of my
Yeah, the
lemonade.
Goon Sesh.
Yeah, it could be worse. At least we didn't really get a whole lot done.
Yeah,
This is
it's
true.
not a big deal. Anyways, it is back open.
And now I know that if one person carries everything in, I don't have to worry about carrying any of my stuff in, so that is also beneficial for me.
Gotta carry everything in.
Well, you know where everything's at now, at least.
It's true.
Trying
It
to...
did give us first place, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yep. Okay. Okay, no, that's mayonnaise, right?
Yes,
That's
that
not
is-
a bucket of water.
No, that is mayonnaise. Bucket of water? That is white, ma'am!
I thought it was the... No, I thought the white was the bucket, and then the blue was the water.
Yeah, okay, okay, I see what we're getting at now.
Yeah.
I don't see what we're getting at here.
It's alright.
No, no, come. No, down, girl.
I'm taking the mayonnaise.
Yeah, go for it. You have full access to my mayonnaise, ma'am.
Oh, well. Your mayonnaise.
My mayonnaise.
It's
Good.
like bolognese.
3,
Bolognese
5,
nuts.
6, 7.
Whatever, y'all can just take me out. Take me out back, it's fine.
8.
Out back for like back shots or like.
No, like, in the back of the shed, old Yeller me.
I mean, you know.
Yeah, you know.
Whatever.
What, did you hurt your leg?
Yeah. What am I, a horse?
Wait, that's not the sound of horse.
Nope.
Uh-oh.
This has been chaotic. A very chaotic
What a
3 minutes.
conversation! What a conversation! conversation.
Not Ducky mooing. When we are talking about horses.
Same shit. All right, they're both on 4
four-legged.
legs.
They fuck me up. I'm scared of them.
They have large penises. I think. I would
wager.
Horses
I think.
definitely do.
You said I would wager to guess that they do.
I mean, one time my mom
Uh-huh.
took a picture with a horse.
Huh?
Uh-huh.
Took a picture with a horse.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay.
And had set it as her Facebook profile picture. No, it was
As women do.
yeah.
Okay. Found a horse.
There was just one problem.
One problem?
As someone pointed out.
What was the size of the problem?
Yeah, the horse had a major erection in the picture.
So it was a pretty sizable problem, you would say.
Yeah, it was a pretty big problem, you could say.
How do you even? How do you do that?
Make a horse have an erection?
know a few
No.
ways.
How do you not notice?
If you're not looking down, it's honestly
Well,
not hard
yeah.
to not notice.
Yeah, my mom isn't known to necessarily like be
I
looking
say this as
for
somebody
it.
who worked with horses. Genuinely, if you're not like paying them much attention, it's really easy to not notice.
That's fair.
They're not like vocal about it like men.
They
Yeah.
don't go, moo, I have an erection!
Help!
Help! My
Meow!
penis is too massive!
It weighs me down! Anyways, I'm really glad we went on a horse penis side quest.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got that all
The
cleared
maple
up.
syrup was in the top.
Do horses get blue balls? No, actually, they do not. Horses
That's because
generally
of the
don't
horse,
care.
doesn't it? Hi, Natsuki.
All
I'll talk
done.
to the fucker.
Did I walk in on
fucker.
mooing erections?
Wait, is he ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you know. Cow dicks.
Yeah.
They
Actually, I don't
absolutely
know the
do.
size
No,
of
they
cow
do
dicks.
not. I worked
Wait,
with show
does
horses.
blue
No,
ball
they do
not
not.
mean what I think it does?
I'm starting to question what blue balls means, because Cool is trying to say that horses get blue balls, and I'm like, they do
Yeah.
not.
Isn't blue balling like an active act? Hi, Aqua.
Yeah, I think your horse had a tumor.
Yeah. I don't think
Blue balls is
blue
a
balling, you literally
human.
get blue balls.
Yeah, blue balls is a human male made up concept.
Why is it called blue balling anyways? It's so
I
weird.
don't know. Tell the chat about the turtles we saw fucking the other day. Yeah, Gore took me to the zoo for Mother's Day.
And there was a turtles also celebrating.
Yeah,
by
exactly.
becoming a mother.
The turtles were trying to become mothers. We had a great day out, had a fantastic time. It was quite lovely, nice weather. It was Bunny's first trip to the zoo. She had a great time. And
Good.
as we were getting ready to leave, we decided to go into their like reptarium area. And they have turtles outside of the reptarium, like tortoises. And yeah, I guess a tortoise just decided on that day that he wanted to make another tortoise a mother. So
Alright. Good for him.
he definitely did seem successful.
Good for him.
He was very proud of himself.
Oh, that was. Did you just buy the stars you need? Oh no, because you cheat, right?
Yep.
224 out of that one.
Let us never forget, I am a cheater at heart.
Fuck. I'm throwing. I'm actually throwing.
I believe in getting famous and rich quick, which is by cheating and not being talented. We had this conversation already.
Yeah. This is why
Right,
Peach
right.
buys followers.
I absolutely do not get
Yeah,
me
every
banned from Twitch.
time
You
those,
son of a bitch if you
in
get
the
me
chat-
banned from Twitch. Also, this is why Peach buys followers. Looks at my follower count on Twitch, which is like 2,000.
Yeah, if you're gonna buy followers, like...
I'm buying more than 2K.
Hey, it's at least only 1997 of them.
Yeah, right.
Given, you know, me, Ducky, and Gore, at the very least, I think are real.
It's all I can afford. Gore, I'm gonna kill you. Ugh, why is my model
190?
lagging today? I don't like it.
We saw the experiment with, like, the Twitch stream together thing at some point.
Yeah, we do. Listen, if we're buying followers, no, we are not, Kula.
Right.
Oh my god.
A wink.
Oh, thanks for the 50 bits, though. Kula said, I would like to toss 50 cents into the running. I don't know how much a bit is anymore.
It's a cent.
Is it a cent?
Yeah.
Okay.
About, yeah.
Okay, bet.
The streamer probably gets like 5 cents out of that.
No, bits are you get 1 cent.
Oh,
per bit.
that's right. That's right. Now I
Yeah.
remember.
Oh, wow, your bot followers are paying you back?
That's wild.
I'm getting a refund.
What an investment.
Yeah.
Diesel? I did not read that as pennies.
Take our penises!
Take our penises, streamer!
Ah!
No,
I mean-
with bits Twitch makes profit upon purchase. It's why you don't buy bits at a 1-to-1 rate.
Oh yeah, I should probably talk to everybody. I haven't done that yet. I forgot I did it yesterday, or I did it before our game freaked the fuck out. Alright, we're betting all on green.
Betting all?
All.
Yep.
Base? Green's a good color.
Oh my god.
How much money did you just lose?
No, I just realized my fucking face is sunburned.
Oh, damn.
I didn't even spend time outside!
White woman problems, for real, for real?
Ah!
200.
I'm like, why are my cheeks so hot?
Bro, I was so worried that Bunny was gonna get sunburned when we went to the fucking zoo. She's tan now. I forgot sunscreen and I was like, shit, because I don't really use it much, so I was like, fuck. She's gonna get sunburned as hell. I forgot about the fact that I have this pale, white-ass baby. Nope, she is tan now.
That's fair.
But she's also got black and Spanish mixed in, and Mexican mixed into her, so...
Yeah, she's at least got something.
She's got a little
Me,
bit of
on the other
protection there.
hand,
She has a
I
natural
literally
buff.
put on sunscreen on my face.
How much is
And-
a bot, Gore? Since I can tell you want to tell me. You put sunscreen on your face even though you weren't outside and you still got a sunburn?
Well, okay, I drove, alright?
Oh, you were in the car. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You got sunburned while driving?
Yeah, it happens.
Yes.
That's happened to my mom before.
Yep.
I have. That is insane.
It's extreme white person problems.
500 tokens from 1 round. I am fucking
Wait, 100 followers
crap.
is 129? What the fuck? No wonder these bitches are buying bots.
Yeah.
Ugh, I just heard Gigi eat that star drop because I happened to be walking by.
Yeah.
Loud as
No,
hell.
I heard it all the way over here. Ugh.
The taste reminds you of girls.
What do you mean sourdough
Sounds like a
sucks?
motherfucking carrot.
Yeah, sourdough's fucking great.
Sourdough's amazing. Put on my other glow ring that I just bought, because why the fuck not? So are we buying bots? Kula, no!
I feel like I'm aimbotting.
Kula, you might just be gluten intolerant, my love.
Yeah. I mean, isn't everyone a little bit?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say
Uh-oh.
no for that.
I mean, everyone gets like a weird tingling when they eat on their tongue when they eat bananas, right?
God. That was me asking about raw onions. I was like, that makes everybody's throat feel tight, right? And Gore was like, are you dying?
Mhm. Everyone gets all, like, just coughs and sneezes.
Another 500.
Like, gets
I
really
am
stuffy
fucking
after
cracked.
eating a lot of bread, right? Just,
Can't breathe.
yeah. Well, I can breathe.
Sorry,
I
I'm
just,
fucking
I
cracked
just.
at slingshots, apparently.
Oh my god, I just toggled all of my toggles. Jesus.
My nose.
My
just
tears are
decides
on,
to-
my everything was on, Gore.
Oh my god.
Oh man, I want to look, but I can't. I'm fucking cracked.
You're good, I turned
He's
them all
just had
off.
like a breakdown for a second
Yeah,
there.
I really did. My bad. I need to set back up my fucking stream deck is what I need to do.
I look insane if I have all my toggles on. I
Same.
actually kind of want to put them all on real quick.
Yeah, look, I can put all my toggles on. I look like I'm having the worst and best day of my life all at the same time.
Hang on. Hang on. I'm fucking gaming. I'm gaming.
He's gaming, boys.
I'm gonna game. Okay, let me look over at your stream and see what is going on here. Oh, I only got 244 that time. You are not, in fact, gaming.
Typically accurate Peach isn't real. She can't hurt you.
Oh my god! Yeah, okay, let me put all of mine on.
Oh, I hate the.
Alright, there we go. I also think I took off my pants, but it's fine. Whose model
Oh
needs
my
pants?
god!
Jesus!
I mean, I can fucking also do this.
Oh my god. God, the chin!
Anyways.
The chin gets me.
The
Why do
Joey
you even
chin?
have that as an option?
Because it's funny.
What do y'all
I
put on
just
your
look at
fries?
800?
Nothing. Oh god, why is your heart and your dab toggled? That's terrifying too.
What, doing this at the same time?
Yeah, because I can see the little fingers for the heart,
Yeah.
but then I can also see the arms for the dab.
With the
What? 50k followers on Twitch is $150. That's not bad, actually. I'm not gonna do it, but that's not bad.
Oh, prices are actually not bad.
Yeah, the prices are pretty affordable.
Oh.
I know nothing about Hunter x Hunter except that there's like a PDF file clown.
There sure is a PDF file clown. I say
I
as
actually
somebody
love
who
that term
I have watched
for
all
as like
of.
a censor.
I just fucking ate a hamburger. Why? How did I do that?
With your mouth.
There's hamburgers up here. You can eat those? I didn't know that was an option. Oh, I only get one. I see how it is. Okay. What if I wanted more? Oh no, I can have as many as I want. Well, don't do it. You're gonna get me fucking banned. And then all this hard work that I've been putting in with my zero amount of talent will really go to waste. Why would you do that to me? Unless you secretly hate me and want me dead, in which case,
Yeah, no.
I want to kill you.
Another 500, baby! I think I'm just cracked at this game.
You think so?
Yeah.
The fuck is up with this clown?
It's not the one from Hunter x Hunter, is it?
You think sabotaging me is gonna get you my husband? Nay.
Fuck! Sorry.
Tucky's really upset that the sabotage won't work.
How much money did you lose, Dux?
It's just not working out.
Damn. I bought everything. I bought everything, so I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna sit here and eat my pizza while y'all do that.
Must be nice to be you, Peach. Must be fucking nice.
I mean, it's pretty great. You're right.
It must be nice.
I live a pretty good life.
Cyber Peach girl.
No! Sorry.
And look, Hunter x Hunter is real for that. They've got trans characters, they've got kids with big ambitions, and they have pedophiles who want those kids.
You could
And they got
say
the rare crow.
the pedophiles
Is
have...
that the important stuff? The ticket, the rare crow, and
The Star Drop, yeah.
yeah, that was what
You
mattered.
could say, Peach, you could say that the pedophiles have little ambition.
You'd be very correct.
Oh my god!
His only ambition is quite literally to find children with talent. And be weird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna scroll through Twitter. Don't mind me.
Alright, have fun.
This is my last round of slingshots. I promise.
Ooh.
No, I'm still trying to fucking find the, I'm still trying to get my money
No, you're
to
good.
buy shit.
We're sucking dick.
No, no! Oh, thank God. Alright, don't fuck this up, Ducky. Don't
You got this.
Don't fuck it up. Don't fuck it up.
I sometimes forget I follow the Club Penguin Twitter account.
There's a Club Penguin Twitter account.
Yeah, but me and Club Penguin have to fight because they made a Club Penguin. It's like an app now that you can get on your desktop, but it's called New Club Penguin, and they hyphenate it as a new CP,
Oh no!
which makes it look like I have very nefarious things on my dashboard. Literally, their on Twitter is New CP Official.
That's
And I just
really
keep bringing it up to them
bad.
because y'all need to change that so
yeah.
fast.
It's like the COD point.
Uh-huh.
You can buy CP right within. Oh no.
What do you mean I can meet Matthew Lillard and he might kiss my forehead? I love that for us.
Ducky.
Hey, Gore. I would like to meet
Ducky.
Matthew Lillard at some point in my life.
Hey, Ducky. Oh
It sounded like you vanished into the abyss. It sounded like you were spiraling away. Somebody please clip that. Holy shit.
That was such a perfect scream into the void.
It sounded like Ducky went spiraling into the void. Holy fuck. Have you ever
Oh my
gambled and
God.
lost so hard that you get sucked into the void?
No, Ducky just got disconnected again.
Oh no.
What is happening? Also, you disconnected from the chat too.
Did she?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, her internet died.
Oh.
That was the
no.
last scream before the internet died.
Okay, please tell me someone clipped it though.
Oh god.
Okay, Jess has got it.
She lost. She lost
No,
some-
Jess, I need you to do it right now.
She lost
I need
so
that
much money
right now.
that she
On
fucking
my
broke
desk.
her own internet. Holy shit.
I need that clip on my desk right now, Jess.
Holy fuck.
Just title it and send it.
That's
It doesn't have to be polished.
so
I just need
funny.
it titled and sent.
How many times are we gonna live through this fucking festival?
Isn't this a plot of a Genshin thing or whatever?
I have no idea. I don't play Genshin.
Good. I just want to know what is up with this buff man.
This is so funny. Oh my
Strength level
god.
lumberjack. Yeah.
I hope
Oh,
Ducky
it
gets
gives you one.
I hope Ducky gets to see how funny that is whenever she comes back. The scream of the damned as she is sucked
Was
into the
so
abyss.
Fucking funny.
Holy shit. I think she's dropping out on us.
Oh. All right. Well, we have to then. We still have to.
We still have to reset.
Yeah.
And I feel bad not letting her get the star drop, honestly.
Yeah. So do we want to just do something else?
Yeah,
or-
we could just do something else.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Let's see what we both have.
Yeah,
let's
what do we
see.
both got?
Let's see what.
Okay, there we go. We're here. We're here. We're here.
Rat.
There's a rat.
Rat.
Rat. I will say, I have been wanting to play Inside the Backrooms, but I don't know if you have that.
I.
Ah, that's okay.
Is that the free one or is that?
It's like $7.
Oh, I can't afford shit right now.
You want me to buy it for you and send it to you?
You do not have to.
I can.
That is up to you.
I can. I think it'd be funny to have us run around and lose our minds.
Yeah.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, sure.
Let me go find it. I'll buy it and send it to you.
All right.
God, fucking Wolf Quest is still up. Okay.
Yeah, we're Ducky's gonna get that star drop one way or another.
Yeah. One friend wants this game. What friend? Friends who have, friends who want. Oh, I'm not buying shit for him. Sorry.
And it's a wish list, so- No, stream not ending.
No, stream not ending. It's because I accidentally clicked on stream ending.
Oh?
Yeah, add it to your wish list and I'll buy it from there. Okay, bet.
Flip.
It's so funny!
It's so good. It's so fucking good.
It's so funny. Oh my lord. Where is... God, can you tell I
It's
don't...
so yeah. They fucking took Ducky out back.
Oh, thank you so much for sending it to me. How do I find your wish list? Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. I got it. I got it. I got it. I don't ever do this.
No fair.
So I'm like, look, I don't have many
Or-
friends, so I don't often have an opportunity to buy people things.
That's
Unless it's me.
I don't have money.
Unless it's me buying Ducky fucking furry feet. Oh, there it is. Okay.
I mean, I should be fine.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of horror it is.
It's just casual. It's essentially us running around in the back rooms, and then monsters will show up that we have to run from, and you have to like find the elevator to take you down to the next floor.
All right.
I've not played, but I've watched people play.
All right, as long as it's not super big jump scary.
No, it's nothing jump scary. You can see the monsters
Oh,
coming.
Awesome.
As long as you're looking in the right directions, of course.
Well, I am stupid is the problem.
Same. So we will have so much fun.
A great time. We're gonna have a great time with this.
Yeah.
Actually, while you do that, I'm gonna go feed the cats real quick.
Oh yeah. Go feed them cats.
I guess it's the perfect time. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Gore, I'm using your card, but I'll pay you back. I don't have my card on my Steam, so I'm gonna use your card, and then I'll send you the money back. Don't step on me! I'm doing what I must. why are you stepping on me? Oh my god, everybody is stepping on me. You can bypass most censors. What do you mean by censors? You mean like whenever you post the link in chat? Yeah, it really did sound like Ducky was shot out back. It is so funny. Oh, like fuck instead of fuck. Okay. That is so funny. Oh my god. Okay, let me change my... Let me change my, layout real quick. Alright, there we go. Oh, okay. You mean like it's blocked in clip names. Okay, that makes sense. Also, hi Yugi's chat. Hi Diesel. Yugi has this look of silent judgment and it scares me. That's so funny. What do you mean nobody told you your shit was on backwards? What happens? What the hell happened? Just look at her? Yeah, I know. She's being very judgmental right now. She does a big ol' eye. Got big ol' eyes. I'm gonna eat my fucking pizza now so that, once we get started, I don't have to worry about my food and choking on it. Also, chat, if you want some music, hold on. Actually, I'm not gonna play my music through Discord because I don't wanna get Yigi in trouble. If Yigi doesn't have her, that's gonna get Yigi in trouble. I was gonna play my music through Discord, and then I was like, oh wait, that's gonna get Yigi in trouble. I'm not gonna do that.
I'm back.
Welcome back. I'm eating my pizza.
I received a gift.
You sure
Did I
did.
just hit decline?
Send it back. I don't want it.
Never mind. How dare you? Wait, it's 12 gigs.
Is it 12 gigs?
What it says?
Oh Jesus, I'm so sorry.
Oh, now it says fucking 5. I don't know. It said 12, now it says 7. I don't know. No, it says 12 in the downloads thing and then 5 in the title.
That's so weird. Remote DMCA bomb? Yeah. I didn't want to do that to her.
Wait, what were you gonna do?
Well, so I play my own music.
Yeah.
During like just chatting sections and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you hang out in my stream sometimes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was telling your chat, I was like, oh here, let me play my music through Discord so that y'all can enjoy some of my music too. And then I went, wait.
Hold up.
Wait, I can't do that. It wouldn't be safe.
You know what would be really funny?
I just fucking. It's like mailing a DCMA, a DMCA bomb at you.
DMCA pipe bomb in your mailbox.
It's about to play fucking It's about to play Bruno Mars real loud.
Hypothetically, it is possible to separate the Discord. With the separated Discord audio, just have it so that Discord doesn't show up in the VOD, I guess?
I guess, but then you wouldn't be able to hear me.
Just responding. Exact. They're just like the fucking weirdest VOD collab experience.
Yeah. What, Diesel?
I
Sorry.
Diesel's going off on something.
I just saw the backshots rooms and the entities are freaky. But then also
It is gonna.
domain expansion,
Almost at
audio
one gig.
jungle.
Almost at the first.
No, it's fine. It's fine. No, I'm not in any rush. This is improv.
Impromptu.
Yeah, impromptu. Oh, did Mistia join another group?
Another.
Well, like a group.
Yeah. Oh,
They posted a thing about her today.
yeah.
I don't know if they're a group or I don't really know what they are. Do you know what they are? Can you explain it to me?
I don't know if they want me.
Okay,
to
that's fair.
lie. I know some. I can.
Okay, that's fine. I wasn't sure if like it was like a group or if it was like a corpo or.
No, it's.
It's cool though. Good for her. Seems like a group. Okay, okay. That makes sense.
Alright, idea.
Oh, okay, cool.
Just as a little.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah?
That makes sense. Sorry, based off how like everything looked, I was like, corpo maybe? I was like, I've never heard of this, but God, I can't believe I can't play Poke Rogue anymore. That's crazy.
Yeah, I saw all that stuff.
That's crazy. I was literally playing Poke Rogue yesterday when all of this stuff came out. The way the mods keep getting banned and Kula said, now read the DM out loud.
Anyway, sorry, just added a little extra context on my side.
No, you're good, you're good.
It's not. But
No, I get you, because I feel the same way about things. That's part of why I left. It's a pretty big reason as to why I left and have just been kind of sticking it on my own
it's like
lately.
there's a lot of things that you're like.
Yeah. Well, so...
There's a lot of things you could be a part of.
True. Well, it's unrelated. But I've talked to my chat about this in the past. About the fact that I personally really struggle with the knowledge that I do not have a close friends group. And I have not had a close friends group since I was in high school and one of my close friends passed away and it completely destroyed our friends group. And so... But it destroyed my friends group in like the most traumatic way possible.
Oh no.
We continued to try and be friends for another 2, almost 3 years after he passed, and it ended up rapidly spiraling out of control, with the centerfold of that being because at the time when he passed away, I was living with one of our friends, and we coped with his death very differently. I was very involved with our teachers, and I was very involved with the principal at the time because I was on the verge of dropping out of high school, and she was trying to help me. So me and her were pretty close, and my friend did not really, at that point in her life, I don't know where she's at now, but at that point in her life, she did not really care much for authority figures, and so for her, she saw all of the adults that reached out to us after his death, and came to his funeral, so on and so forth. They pretty much, she did not appreciate the fact that they were reaching out to her. She felt that it was fake sympathy. She felt that it was adults being involved in something that they didn't understand unnecessarily. She did not like the fact that teachers that he did not have showed up to his funeral as if like they wouldn't have known who he was.
Right.
You know, and it's not, they weren't showing up for him, they were showing up for, you know, his family to show that, like, they cared, even if they didn't necessarily know who he was. But she never really saw it that way, and it led to us having a pretty big falling out. That led to me moving out of their home in a way that I don't think either of us really liked.
Like, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, when it's a sudden thing like that, yeah, it's gonna get messy.
Exactly. And I tried to make it work. She is the type of person that kind of shuts down. And so after we moved out, it became very clear that she did not want to be any... Oh, bad. It kind of became clear that she did not want to be anywhere around me. And it split our friends group where we ended up moving in with another friend, me and Gore did. And during that entire year that we lived together, she went to college and made friends with other people and refused to really even be around our friends group because of the fact that she didn't want to be around me. And then whenever we separated, we moved out, and me and Gore were by ourselves, and the roommate that we lived with moved out and did his own thing. She was brought back into their lives, and I was then excommunicated without anybody telling me why or what I had done wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, and so it led to a...
That's fun.
Yeah, so it led to a really, for me at least, traumatic situation.
Right.
Where these people that I considered almost family for me, because at the time I had been homeless, I had lived with all of them at different periods of time. You know, like, for me, those people were family. Suddenly not being around me anymore and not responding to text messages.
Just the sudden...
Yeah, it was like a very sudden cutoff.
I get you.
And so after that, I've kind of struggled with making new friends since then.
I totally get that.
And so I personally struggle a little bit with the feeling of being left out, because that was very much what my relationship became with them. And I talked about this with my chat, but like I felt that very strongly when a close friend of mine, well, not really a close friend, she's more like an acquaintance, but she had a oh shit, should I use controller or should I use keyboard and mouse?
Oh, I don't know. I was gonna use keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, I'm also gonna use keyboard and mouse. Yeah, you have to go turn that on, I think, in the
no,
settings.
I think, well, I don't have a controller even connected.
Oh, well, my controller's plugged in, so that's probably why it's making me pick. Okay, there we
Gun
go.
to your head. Choose.
Oh, why does the audio settings only go through once you've clicked apply? So I can't like test the audio to see like what's too loud.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, it's a little strange. Okay, I'm gonna adjust this for a minute while I talk. But I talked about this, that an acquaintance that I have recently did a debut, and it was fantastic. It was beautiful. It was amazing. She did a great job. Everything pulled itself together really well. However, it made me very aware of how little friends I had, because she had a bunch of her friends, like there for her, a bunch of people who had drawn art for her, a bunch of people who had, you know, just been there and wanted to be there, and they all like showed up for her in a way that I don't feel like I've ever really had. And so it made me very aware of it. So I totally get what you mean when you talk about being concerned about that kind of stuff. This is fucking...
I mean, during my debut, I think I got just like one raid, and I was like...
Okay, 1 second.
Like, I had to like rearrange how I thought about stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Hold on, I think my... Okay. Oh, okay. Can I...
Do we want to just do Discord audio and not?
Yeah, we can just do Discord audio. I'm trying to invite you, but I'm struggling with... Oh, there it is. Okay. Invite players, choose friend. There we go. Okay, that should be sent. It's making me use my controller for it.
Oh, that's weird.
I think it's just...
There we go.
I think it's just because I have my controller plugged in.
Yeah? What the hell?
Sorry, you're watching me jump around and change myself?
Sorry, I thought that was...
Don't mind me, I'm just,
I didn't realize it was third person.
Yeah, I didn't either. Oh fuck yeah! He just be urban guy.
You're tweaking.
Damn.
Oh my god, hello?
That fucking Lady Gaga reward in the anniversary event. What the fuck? I need this. Complete the sewer.
This might be better on controller, actually.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Like, I'm like fucking moving. And
it's not great.
Let me plug in my controller. Let's see if
I can be a homeless woman.
Again?
Homeless woman, homeless man. Yeah, you know what?
Okay, yeah, this does feel better on controller.
Uh-oh. Your audio's doubling.
Is it?
Oh, wait, nope, it just stopped. Oh god, you have like...
Oh, that's how you select the skin.
You have like awful, like no eyes. You know what? I'll do young girl, no jacket. God. The slow pan on controller is so rough.
Oh, this is...
Oh no.
Does not feel like an optimized game.
Well, it's still in
early access.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, we got a cutscene.
So many games are just permanent early access, though, so I don't know what that means for this. How long it's been out?
Yeah.
Hi, Digi.
Damn.
Hello.
Fell into the abyss. Look, Diesel, I've been homeless more times than I care to say. God, it is
Bro's
dark.
actually working on an empty spreadsheet. And fell asleep. Bro didn't do shit.
Oh, you had a different start than I did?
Fell asleep at his desk and he just wakes up in the back room. That's not how that works.
I got chased.
Oh.
Oh, God.
Bro literally just fell asleep.
Okay, I need to find you.
Oh, God.
Are you already in the back room somewhere?
Yeah.
Okay, bet. I guess we gotta find each other. I don't have a flashlight or nothing. I can jump. I can run. Cape? Ape. Do I have a stamina bar? Or can I just run until...
It might... I don't know.
Oh, I do have a
It feels
stamina bar.
better-
Okay. There is indeed a stamina bar. It's at the bottom.
Weirdly enough,
Weirdly enough.
it's fine on keyboard and mouse anywhere but the menu.
Weird. Okay.
Because it feels very... It moves differently.
Does it? Oh.
Yeah, it's not as, like...
Oh, I
so
can actually turn
tight.
faster.
Yeah! You can actually fucking turn. Oh, hey, a ladder.
Okay, open? Read note. Unknown entity. It is a humanoid.
Oh, I found you!
Yeah! I'm reading the note in here. It's a humanoid that seems to be made
Here's
of...
the way you're just bent over.
You're also just bent over. Also, Kula, what are you telling me right now? When it is close, the environment of the rooms changes, and it seems to be attracted by electronic devices and radio frequencies. So when you're in the same area as it, be very careful. You don't want to attract your own death. We get 10 deaths each.
Oh, no.
You see it?
No, I looked at my model.
Oh, what happened?
I might have to switch back to just spooky for this.
Oh, no. That's okay. Take your time. I'm reading.
No, it's easy. I just have to close out VTube Studio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there. I'm done. I switched.
Okay, so it likes...
Just
it's
turn off the redeems.
It's attracted to electronic devices and radio frequencies.
Ah, fuck. But we're virtual YouTubers.
God, it's gonna get us. So don't have those out
no,
whenever
it's gonna
you're...
get me.
Don't have those out whenever you're close to it. Unplug my controller so it stops trying to tell me the controller. And then... And when it gets close to you, the environments of the room change. Are you wounded? Cure yourself by drinking almond water. Oh, there's almond water. Where'd your head
Oh,
go?
you took-
Oh, there it is. Here, grab the other one.
Pick up almond water.
Yeah, grab
Pick
the
up
other one.
radio.
Okay. We only need one radio, so
Do we?
you can only hold one.
Oh, yeah?
So once you pick up one. Alright. Use radio. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Well, I mean, if we don't have... I don't know what the push to talk button is.
Oh god, yeah, you found it.
Is it V?
Yeah, I think so.
Push...
Hello? Hello, hello? I mean, it's fine. We don't need it.
I cannot find... yes. Press the top.
We don't need it.
I mean, we don't. Okay, yeah, it is V. I found it.
Is it B or V?
V.
V, okay. These pills are used to calm you down. They will reduce your anxiety.
Anti-anxiety pills? Oh, I need all of these?
Don't mind if I do.
Yum, yum, yum.
Oh, what is that?
Is that Poppy Playtime?
Oh no. Oh no.
In the lurking darkness, these walls shelter something mysterious, a bright smiling thing that stands out from the
Ugh.
shadow. Rumors says that
Yep.
It has a physical body.
Absolutely.
That
That's correct.
cannot be seen with the human eye. It's only known that it is attracted to all sorts of light, and that if traps you in the void, the shadows, you will probably never see the light again.
Okay, so
Remember,
don't.
snow does not always reflect peace, if not quite the opposite. Bro
So-
needs a fucking English.
Bro needs to chill the fuck out.
Yeah, come on. Bro needs these pills.
Alright, so no flashlights. God, my shadow is terrifying.
Oh God.
Why do I look so lanky and gangly?
SCPs are written amazingly, though.
It's so true.
Because they take their shit seriously.
Oh god. Oh. Alright.
Do we really not have...
A flashlight yet? No, we do not. Okay, that's
Yeah.
1, 4,
It
9,
sure is.
2, 6, 3, 0. Oh, there's the elevator. Okay, well, we lucked out. Unless we didn't.
Yeah, I mean...
This is the starting floor. Press that button for
Can I
me.
just press...
Yeah.
Can I just press 9?
Oh shit.
It's
do
a
we...
puzzle.
Fuck. Okay, do we have to press them in the order we had them?
No, I think I know what it is.
Okay.
You see how it's each side?
Yeah?
I think... Oh, wait. Yeah,
It's
no, so
1,
1, 1,
Yeah, hold on.
4, 9...
Let me unpress
2,
the button
6.
you just pressed.
Well, I tried, I could not.
Oh, okay. Well. 1,
Well,
1.
I mean, 1 is one of the ones... 9 is the one of the ones we need to press anyways.
Yeah, 1, 1, 4, 9. Oh shit, wait. 2?
What?
Not 2.
Yeah, 2.
Well, it didn't show up as 2. I pushed 2 and it beeped at me.
Oh.
Alright, hold on. Hold on. We're gonna brute force it. Shit.
This might take a while.
Oh, okay, so
Let me
it's
try
a
something.
specific order.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh!
1,
It's
4
just a 4-digit code.
1, 4, 2, 3. Shit.
Nope.
1960.
Nope.
Hmm.
I mean, what about 3241?
Wait, are there numbers on the backs of these too?
I
No.
don't think so.
Well, shit. Oh wait, there's
What
numbers.
about
There's a number
0691?
pound on that, number pound on that, number pound on that. There are pound signs on the backs of one side of these, but not on the other side.
Oh?
So try 3241.
I just did.
Oh, you did? Shit. Hi, wannabe. How are you?
Okay, so pound signs. Try to forward and back.
Oh, yeah. What was it? 3941?
I tried 3941.
Or, sorry, what is it? On the side
1960?
1960. Okay.
Yeah, I tried forward and back for both.
Damn.
Hmm.
I got kicked out because I yelled yippee when she took her bra off. Relatable.
Titties!
Hmm. God, the way you run is so funny.
Wait, let me see your run cycle. Oh, I haven't seen it.
Can I get back
Where are
through?
you?
I can't get back through. Okay, so we can't get back through. There has to be something around here. Entity number 3. Hazard class
number
2.
Oh, that's...
Oh, you might be right.
I am?
No, Gore.
Oh! Oh, Gore, you're so smart.
That's you.
So it's 1609.
Sorry, that was you walking. You were walking so slow that I thought it was something mimicking you. Oh, Gore's so right.
Gore, you're so smart.
We would absolutely
so...
die in an
My
escape room.
husband is so fucking smart.
Oh god. Yeah, we would absolutely die in an escape room. You're
Oh,
so
now
fucking
we're
right.
in the back rooms?
Yeah, we sure are. God damn.
Now it starts, apparently.
Yeah. This is why Gord comes with me to every escape room. Oh god. Should we go together?
Yeah.
Probably.
I'd fucking be piss shit terrified.
You're like, if we didn't go together, I'd kill myself.
I'd fucking cry and kill myself.
This is Gore. I took Gore to a haunted house once. It was an experience. What the fuck is that? Spray can?
Spray can.
Oh, probably to tell
Can
you
I-
where
can
you've
I-
been before. Yeah, grab the almond water.
Oh.
Watch your
You can
stamina.
only...
Oh, what am I looking at?
What?
Coming from the ducks in the room?
What the fuck is that?
It is very aggressive and dangerous, but annoyed by noise and intimidated by direct eye contact. So when you look at it face to face, be smart. There are times when running away won't help much. Nobody has managed to take a photo of the entity, so the following drawing has been generated from several testimonies.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sure. Oh,
I hate that
flashlights.
thing. Oh, great.
Fantastic. F is for flashlight. Love
Food
that
stuff
for me.
Together.
God, why'd you take off?
I don't know.
Me when I have scoliosis.
Oh my god, what the... Wait, you run. I want to see it. Oh my god!
You kind of just tear ass around corners. Okay, so they said that thing comes out of air ducts, so keep an eye out for air ducts. I'm gonna go...
Like that one.
Yeah, like that one. Also, you want to manage your running. Hi, Silver, because the stamina does come back, but it comes back
this?
slowly.
Oh, it's a hide.
Oh.
Great.
There's some anti-anxiety pills if you would like those.
I took 2 from last one.
I
You
have
only
2
took
as well,
1.
so
Oh.
I picked up another one earlier, so. Oh, and there's another one, a VHS tape. All right. The fuck?
I don't know.
I don't like the fact that the AC just turned off. There's a door down there. I don't trust it.
Well, only one of us can hide.
I
at a
know!
Time, which makes sense.
But try hiding.
So?
It fucks up your vision so bad.
Does it? Oh god. Oh god. Oh.
Your face just sticks out of it.
Yeah!
I'm sure they can't find
God.
me here.
Surely this...
What the fuck? Uh-oh. Stay
It's
looking
poison
at it.
gas!
Stay looking at it. Just in case a
What?
dog comes out, stay looking at it. Oh, we need a key to open this door. Of fucking course
Oh,
we
great!
do. Alright,
What if we just killed ourselves instead?
we look for a key. I don't think a dog's coming out of it, but... See, you keep jump scaring me because I think I know where you are. And then,
And then I just go, Mew!
Yeah, and then I look over and you're not there anymore. What happened to the light over here?
I don't know.
Oh, it's back.
Kinda. I'm gonna lower the...
Yeah, whatever. That's not a problem. Okay. I wish there was a button for peeking around corners. But again, you know, whatever. Oh, there's another hidey hole over there.
Yeah.
Alright, we're looking for a key.
Oh no, I think I would rather just like
Die?
thought I
Yeah.
heard something.
Nope, you totally
Yeah,
did
I
hear
would
something.
say-
Why is this
I would
shimmery?
just like
Is this a mirror? Oh, that's a mirror.
oh god, it did not like loading in the mirror.
No, it did
Oh,
not.
it does not like when
It does
why
not.
don't I have a
Oh, there's a
reflection?
television. Cannot turn this on at the moment. I have a VHS for you, however. Alright, what are we watching?
Oh, I love this movie.
A rescue team were dispatched moments after receiving a radio signal.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, when the team arrived at the destination point, they got dead bodies.
Hmm.
In total, 9 bodies were found.
9 bodies.
The team collected all the bodies and piled them up on an empty room.
In an empty room. Okay. Am I gonna bump into that room?
Some
Probably.
of the corpses were found with some anomalies on it.
Alright.
The anomalies are the next.
Frank Almond.
Mm-hmm. Well, he looks great.
The previous subject was found without the left foot.
Alright.
That's not an anomaly. That's just like an altercation.
Yeah, more like the anomaly is what the fuck happened to her eyes? Also, she's
Fucking
6 foot
mantis.
tall.
Was found without the nose.
I mean, yeah, that
Alright,
just sounds like
Jess.
these guys were eaten.
Mm.
Oh, thank you so much for the hydrate. I'm gonna sip the rest of my lemonade.
Without the left tooth.
Yeah, it just sounds
Yeah,
like these
aren't,
guys were
like,
eaten.
anomalies. This is just like
Alright, well,
it's just like a crime scene.
yeah.
The subject was found without the left foot.
Yeah, that's just a crime scene.
Yeah, if I wound up in the back rooms, I would just kill myself.
Oh, yeah,
I would get
absolutely.
in one of those lockers and just starve myself to death.
I'd
I know
run
it's a
into...
horrible way to go,
I'd
but
ru-
like,
You wanna know what's a better way to go, in my opinion?
what was that?
The previous subject was found.
Why is everything red?
Wait, what?
The lights are all red.
That-
Now they're fine. Okay. Oh, I think the lights being red meant that Mr. Man was near.
Oh yeah.
'Cause remember they said the-
Liar Man.
Yeah. Because they said things change when he gets near. Yeah, you want to know a faster way to die? That's not starving
Knife?
yourself? It's just letting whatever
Snapping your own
is.
neck?
It's whatever's. Just letting whatever's back here just get you.
Okay, but that would still like scare the shit out of me.
Yeah, well, you know. You die faster, I guess.
I mean, yeah, but like, I don't have to come face to face with unspeakable horrors beyond my imagination.
What am I
Can you
hearing?
not do that, please?
Yeah. Can we not with the steam, perhaps? What am I looking at?
Should probably like keep an eye on that though.
What the hell am I looking at?
What? The hell is?
There's a note. Do you see the silhouette? But it's looking to the R. When is wrong?
Oh no! Don't
It's a
tell
puzzle?
me. Oh.
Oh,
no.
shit. Oh, horse.
Horse.
Not quite. You almost have it. Maybe angle it up again?
Is the tail not right?
Yeah, I think so. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Looks good.
How do I know if I'm done? Like, what's good? Oh,
That.
okay then.
All right, cool. What the fuck did that do?
Oh,
Also, why
there's a
are...
door there.
There's a door there. Oh.
Do you have to do it too, or
No?
can't interact with it?
Oh.
You just walk through it?
Yeah.
Oh, you just walk through it.
Yeah, you just walked through it. I can't walk through it.
I picked up a fingers.
Oh, great. Is that all that's over there? Is the fingers?
There's also like a clock. There's a screwdriver.
Can't walk through it. Oh, now I can. Okay. Clock? Oh, you have to tell it what time it is.
But there's no hands.
We have to find the hands, maybe?
I guess so.
There's
Can I
also
use
almond
fingers?
water
Can
behind
I-
it if
can
you
I-
want some.
Can I use fingers? I don't know. I feel like fingers could work.
Hi, Nick. It's going good. How are you? There's almond
I feel
water
like
back there.
fingers could work as like hands.
Yeah, does it
Got
not
the
let you use
water?
them? Does it not let you open your inventory and use
It
them?
said, oh no, it said like open inventory, drag to use items.
Hmm.
Okay.
Weird.
I'm dragging.
I'm dragging?
Please help me. I am dragging. What was
We
that?
don't even know what time it is, though.
Oh, I think that. Well, it's probably like there's probably a clue somewhere on what time to do.
Oh, open inventory. Oh, you just click the item and then click use if the use button is available.
Oh,
Hold on, let me back off of it so you can interact. There you go.
see. Inventory. Oh. Okay, none of them are available. Then
Okay.
why does it say drag?
I don't know why it says drag.
Like that's just a fucking lie.
Oh.
What was that?
The lights flickering on and off again. The horse jump scared me.
Nosferatu. What was that? Thought I heard something.
You sure did. I'm getting in here.
And I'm just gonna start with that.
Alright,
I
I think we're good.
would much rather die, actually.
I think we're good. God, your whole
Steps out
head's
immediately,
sticking out.
guys. Yeah, no, it's so bad.
Oh my, they'll never find me in here. Why does my wrist look fucking broken? Chat,
Yeah.
chat can't see it because my head's in the way. Alright, there's another door here. The fuck is the point of this door?
Oh, you know. Can you stop, please? Like, I get it. We all have to let off some smoke sometime, but like,
Does it have to be that close to me?
yeah.
Oh,
What?
something's here.
How do you know?
The lights are red. You not hear it?
They're not red for me.
Oh. Oh, it's red for me. Did you not hear it stomping?
No.
Oh, well, we're fine.
And I'm quite glad I didn't.
It stomped away, so we're good.
And it stomped away. Stompy, stompy.
Oh. Hi.
But. Oh.
Important. Next area is fully radioactive. A protection suit is
Fuck yeah.
required. There's a locked door that will only open if the radiation in the room is of
Yeah,
a low
it's
level.
radiated.
You walked in?
Yeah.
A Class D extinguisher is required. It won't eliminate the radiation, but it will decrease the radiation for 3 minutes approximately. Some items on the room are contaminated. Use a Geiger counter to check which objects are the contamination sources. God, I forgot you were playing as a man, and that scared the shit out of me. Alright, so don't go in there until we find a fire extinguisher.
Don't mind me. I'm just teabagging him.
That poor man. He died, and you're gonna teabag him?
Yeah.
He should have just ran into where it was irradiated. He would have been safe.
Yeah, honestly.
Alright, so this is
What
just
if-
a long...
So can we just like run in and die?
Probably.
Can I just see what happens?
Oh,
Like, I'm kind of curious. But
I ran down here and the light turned red.
oh, well, don't run down there.
A Class 3 extinguisher, yeah.
Well, I would have changed myself to a woman if someone didn't start the game so suddenly.
I truly did not mean to.
I know.
I was just trying to figure out what my buttons all did, and I accidentally started the game instead.
You
Okay.
know what I'm glad about? I don't have to worry about batteries.
So true. Because having to worry about batteries on top of everything else in this fucking game would kill me.
Yeah.
Oh,
Stop doing that!
I found a hand.
Oh, that's not a hiding spot.
No, that's just stuff. There's stuff in there if you want it. There's a hand in there. I took it.
I can't carry any more of the milk.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I can't carry any more milkies.
The fuck did I just hear?
The steam vent.
Oh, okay. I also can't carry any more milk, so, yeah,
I
that's
have no
a
idea what
Heidi.
situation we're supposed to use the milk.
If we get hit, it heals you.
Oh.
Alright, that's the long-ass hallway we came down.
Mm-hmm. What?
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have been
Why did-
running. What is screaming?
I do not hear screaming.
Oh, lucky you. There's a lot of places to hide in here.
There sure are. But if it's randomly generated, then it's like...
Is this randomly generated? I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh. You wanna shut that door behind you?
Oh. Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Okay, almond water.
Alright,
Clock
let's try
hands.
0... Oh.
I found the clock hands.
I
I still don't know what time
Oh.
it is, however. So, will the clock hands do me any good?
Well, we have to find our way back, because we haven't been marking shit.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
I
we have
tried
spray
before.
paint.
Well, here's the thing, right? Okay, let me... Like,
You equip it.
I did.
Okay. And then you
I clicked.
change image.
Change the color.
Oh, those are...
Shake it.
Whatever the
Nope,
fuck that
that's-
noise is can stop. Oh. What the fuck? There's gotta be a button that does it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hold on.
Oh, so you can equip stuff, so you don't have to fucking...
Yeah. Crouch. Dive is C. Why is dive,
Dive?
an option? Whistle is G.
Sure is.
I guess you just... I'm not really... Oh, it's upside down now. Why is it upside down here? Fuck.
Great question.
Why can my hand go through that wall? Why is it only upside
Is there a
down
way
on
out?
that wall?
I don't know. Oh, wait, it wasn't even... What the fuck?
It's very strange.
Like, okay. Take it from this wall, and then, like, move your cursor to the other one.
Yeah.
What a great functioning game.
This is a fantastic function if I knew how it worked.
Yeah, I'm fucking...
I looked on the menu too, and it did not have an option for it, so... I can change its color. But I can't seem to use it. Okay.
Yeah. Let me see if there's something in the setting.
Equip information? Spray paint. Yeah, fucking no shit.
Whoa, what the fuck?
Why are you punching? Are you gonna try and fight the monsters?
Numpad 1 and the numpads?
The numpads make you fuck it up when they don't got anything going on?
Yeah.
That's stupid, but okay.
I want to see, what does it look like? You do it. You do it.
Hold
I
on.
wanna see. I was thinking maybe, just maybe.
Hold on. I accidentally opened a text box and I don't know how to make it go away.
What?
Okay, there it goes. Okay.
Oh, open a chat with T up here.
Okay.
Alright, let's see this.
Do I have to have nothing equipped?
No, you can have it equipped.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Why am I looking at the ground to do that?
Oh my god.
Oh my god, the camera angles!
Why did chicken dance? I think my favorite part is the fucking blank stare.
Why am I doing sit-ups?
Oh my god.
I love the idea of a monster coming to kill you and you're just busy doing sit-ups.
Hang on, I gotta get my reps in.
Oh my god. Well, that didn't...
That. Anyways, you still have no idea how to use the fucking spray paint.
Nope. Never learned. What the fuck
Wait.
is that just more almond milk?
It sure is.
God damn it!
Why is there so much milk? Can you milk the monsters?
What's going on? See, I know where the clock is. My only question is...
You have the hands.
I have the
'cause I know.
hands. I grabbed them. I just don't even know what time it's supposed to be. There's a vase? Thank you
There
for the
sure
hydrate,
is.
Nico. What the fuck am I supposed to do with the vase? Maybe this can be broken with something?
Oh, I know a way to break it.
Yeah, you've got the thing. Hold on, let me back
No,
off.
punch it. I'll fucking.
No, you got a fucking bitch, you've got a fucking crowbar.
Just punch it.
You can break it with the You were
Uh,
looking so closely at it.
What?
When you were looking at it, you were like right up on it. Thank you for the hydrate. I don't have any more liquids. I need to go grab more liquids, but I'm too afraid to walk away.
Oh.
Can you not break it with the crowbar?
What crowbar?
You picked up a crowbar earlier, right?
I picked up a screwdriver.
Oh, I thought you said you picked up a crowbar.
No. How'd you get crowbar?
Oh, a hammer. Okay, wait, we need a hammer. There's a note on the floor over here that says we need a hammer.
Yeah.
I will hydrate.
Vases, notorious for only being able to be broken with a hammer. And nothing else.
I picked up an ear.
Sir, oh, that's an eyeball.
In that cabinet over there?
Uh-huh.
Any hammers?
No.
Damn.
There's more pills if you need, but
No, I'm
full.
full up. Thank you though.
Yum yum yum. I'm full on pills.
All right.
God, there's so many pills.
God, there's so many vases.
Yeah, what the fuck? Oh, that's a foot.
That vase, that vent's open.
It sure is.
Who's screaming?
Yeah, I heard it that time.
Who's just putting almond milk in the corners?
Oh, you know.
There's fucking almond milk
Just gotta-
everywhere.
But yeah, there was a
Hi,
fight
guys.
underneath that vent.
Thank you for the hydrate. I need to go grab another drink, actually, but I'm terrified, so...
Yeah.
We need a hammer.
I mean, can't we just use a foot? That was when I picked up the foot.
I see that. Okay, should we go back to the clock and try and figure that out? Can
know
you
what
just
to
bring
do.
me a Dr. Pepper? Oh my fucking god.
I know exactly what to do.
Bro, fucking entity, let me just show you this left hook. The entities are gonna come and they're gonna be so impressed by you.
Yeah, right? Exactly. That's the thing. They're gonna join the rep. They're gonna be like, yo, how am I gonna shred as you?
They're gonna show up.
Why am I...
They're
Why
gonna,
was I... Why did it spawn me behind it? Okay.
they're gonna show up and they're gonna be so, like, they're gonna be mad impressed.
They're gonna be intimidated.
Hell yeah, they are. Alright, well, let's go back to the clock, I guess.
I guess. Do you know how to get back? 'Cause
I know how to get back, yeah, I do. Oh, hey, bud.
What?
There's a thing behind you.
What?
There's a thing behind you.
The fuck there is?
My third word. Thank you, Gore.
There is absolutely not, as a matter of fact.
There was for me.
There absolutely is not anything.
For me, there was a sexy. There's a
Sexy?
There's a sexy little string man. He's still over
You're
there.
getting all the fun stuff.
Go away. Go away.
There's nothing here, Peach. Peach, did you take your pills?
I have not. I might need to.
I haven't taken any pills either. Like,
I'm just
I
gonna.
ain't taken. Yeah, this is a great spot.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're doing great, sweetie.
It's coming. I can hear its steps.
There's nothing.
Okay, the lights are turning back to yellow. I think we're good.
What do you mean we? Apparently you're the only one in danger.
Yeah, apparently so.
I'm just here. I'm gonna have a great time.
I just took my meds just in case.
And you're the one getting attacked by everything.
I'm
so,
taking.
like,
I've taken my pills. Also, I have not taken my
Alright.
pills today, Gore. Actually, my actual anxiety medication. I have not taken that. So this game is definitely a choice. Thank you for the hydrate. I'm gonna take a third sip just for you.
These, I don't know if you're like
Wrong
just like
room.
making a joke or if that's actually the case.
That I was being followed? No, I was actually being followed. There actually was something there.
I didn't see shit.
Third sipping? Well, you're the third hydrate redeem, so yeah, third sipping. I don't know what that noise is. Why is that light so bright?
That's a great question.
Why are these lights suddenly so bright? This is the direction I have to go. I don't like that the lights are so bright down the way I
Well,
have
like-
to go. Makes me
Because you have a bright idea.
vastly uncomfortable. Okay, so that's the door that's locked. Okay. We still haven't found a key for that door yet.
No. Wait, where'd you go?
I'm just around the corner. I'm right here.
Okay. Let me take some pills too.
God, that is a loud gulp.
Well, what can I say? I'm loud when I go.
You're a loud
was
little
that?
gulper? I don't know, man.
What is anything?
True. Elevator!
All right.
Do we need a code?
Is this not the? Is this not the elevator that we?
Oh fuck, this is the elevator we came in on! Shit! Fuck,
Like,
yeah.
I'd assume you can't just wander and find that, so you have to solve the fucking puzzles.
I don't want to solve the puzzles. I want out!
What happened to knowing which way to go?
I did, and then I lost myself.
You're
That's a wall.
losing it, Peach. I think the backrooms are getting to her.
No, it's fine. We're fine. We're safe. We're good.
Yeah?
Yes, the backrooms could never get to me. Okay, mirror.
Okay, God, I thought that was something there.
Okay, this is where the
It was
TV
just
is.
you. Uh-huh.
Okay. This is where we just came from?
Yeah?
Yeah? Fuck is this door? Why is the light getting so bright? Don't do that. I don't like it. It upsets me. Oh,
There's-
fucking
there's sensitive
doorway.
eyes.
Fuck. We just made it back to the fucking elevator again.
Mm-hmm. You sure did.
Fuck me. God fucking damn it. Shit. I knew
Wait,
where
where'd
we
you go?
were. I just ran forward.
Where are you?
I'm over here.
Where is over here?
I'm flashing my
Okay, I see
flashlight
you.
for you.
Morse code?
Elevate her, but what the fuck?
What?
Are the lights not red for you?
Nope.
Okay, well then I'm taking that as a good sign. Okay, they just turned back green. We're fine.
I just realized I could have probably just set my settings lower.
You may
and maybe
have.
still use my model, but like.
Oh, you're talking about using your model. That's the mirror. We were just in there.
Yeah.
Oh my god, we will find this room again. Really wish we had our...
Okay,
You heard that, right?
Oh wait, were you flashing your light?
No.
I
indeed was not.
Alright, cool.
What are we hearing?
Might need to turn the volume up a little bit.
Oh yeah, my volume's loud as hell.
Well, I'm a scared little bitch, baby.
That's why my volume's loud as hell. It helps me know where things are.
You see, it's the conundrum, right? Of like, on the one hand, yes.
But on the other hand, have to hear spooky scaries.
It's scary. There it is!
Alright. Inventory. Clock hands.
Fine, I'll turn it up to the max. There? What if it's just the ambience?
Oh.
I mean, there's only so many it can be, right?
Think.
Oh, this feels brute forcible.
It does. Okay. So tell me which hand moves which thing. Can you see it moving? Whenever I pull on it?
I could before.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
Which hand is that?
Oh. Wait, what?
Is this the big hand?
That is the minute hand?
Okay,
yeah.
bet. Cool. Let me know whenever we've fully cycled.
You've been cycling.
Okay. If I can grab the other side. Should we know the time?
Fuck if I know.
If so, where would we have found that?
Maybe I know what time it is. Time to get a watch.
That's what I'm trying to do. Did you say like they're pilling a cat?
What?
I'm reading your chat.
Oh?
So we need that key, and I have a feeling this is gonna spit out that key, and then we're gonna be able to go in that room and replace all of the body parts on those corpses. And that's what we're gonna need to do, but I don't know... Oh wait, I think it says it right there, actually.
I mean, that's 0-0.
No, look at the bottom. At the bottom, the big hand is going to 60, and then the other big hand is going to the 3, it looks like. So one hand...
When you move your fat head, I can
Well, take a look. God, now your fat head is in the way.
Okay. I see.
Okay, so tell me how many times I need to move. And for which hand?
Move the minute hand to the right one. Oh, one back. There you go. Hour hand. Wait. I don't know what
We'll try both. We'll try both.
All right, then hour hand right 3.
3?
Yeah. All right. That's a vent.
Is there even a vent in here?
It's probably next to us somewhere.
Oh, okay. So that didn't do it. So let's try the other one.
All right, I don't know how to fucking
I got it.
interact with this thing.
I got it. Okay.
All right.
So how many do I need to move? Which hand?
Big hand left 3, I guess.
Okay.
That was the little hand.
The fuck? That was the big hand the last time. Alright. Anyways.
All right, and then I guess little hand right 6.
Okay.
2
4,
more.
5, 6.
Okay.
Okay. Did that do it? I don't think that did it. I don't think that did it. I need it to spit out the key. Spit out the key.
Oh, this is how you were turning it.
Yeah, you go to the back.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, so I can't see. It requires the other person to be there. There's a little door back here on the back of the clock that I
There
imagine
sure
will open
is.
whenever you get it right.
Hmm.
Well, my question was, will it open as soon as I get it? Or will it...
Right.
Or do I have to, like...
What are these sounds?
Yeah, it's being a little noisy out there. You guys know what the time is? No, we haven't bumped into another clock yet. Or at least I don't think we have.
Not that I know of.
Maybe it was on that VCR? But VCR wouldn't show you the current time, would it? I haven't used a VCR in a very long time.
No, it wouldn't. Oh! I got it!
How the fuck did you do that?
No fucking idea! I was
Um,
just fucking around. Have you seen a lock pad? 4487.
Oh, 4487. We have seen a
lock
lock pad, yes.
I have no idea. What time is it?
4487.
3:35, apparently.
It's very specific, but okay.
Okay, 4487.
Chat, remember 4487, please.
Yeah, we're counting on you, chat. We're both dumb.
And we gotta go down this way.
Yep. I think we had to go through that. Uh-oh.
Run.
Oh!
Run! Run! Run!
Where?
Just back!
I don't remember what the thing said to do.
Don't shine your light at it. It likes light. Where'd you go? I
don't
hear
know.
you guzzling drinks. Where are
I went by the. I went. Ah! Wireman!
Wireman?
I'm dead.
Oh, I'm so dead. Can I shut the door?
I have decided I don't like this game.
Did Wireman get you?
Wireman fucked me good.
Okay. Oh god. Alright, I made it back.
What do
Or...
you mean find the luminous door?
What? What the fuck's going on over there?
I have to revive.
Oh shit. I got pliers. What the fuck am I gonna do with pliers? Oh no.
Oh wait, I can explore the radiated area.
Well, as a ghost?
Yeah. There are crutches.
That's cool. I got pliers. What the fuck do we need pliers for?
Containment level. There's a. Oh, a gas mask.
I'm afraid to leave this room. Because Mr. Smiley Man was staring at me.
I did not like Smiley Man.
Yeah, I'm not a big Smiley Man
that
fan
was.
either.
I hated that actually.
Yeah, same.
Huh?
It's gonna...
Is that my own?
Where are you? Are you still a
I
ghost?
don't know. Yeah.
Fuck! Can you not open your inventory as a ghost?
Nope.
Well,
I think you'd have to go to my body.
where'd you die?
I was like right there. I did not run far.
Okay.
I went into fight and flight mode and I chose neither.
Where's my fucking flashlight? Okay, there it is. You
Where's the
went into
fucking-
fight or flight mode and I chose neither is the funniest way to describe that.
Like that's what happened.
Yeah, girl, I booked it. I saw that smiley
I
face
just did
and I
not
turned
wanna
off
be
my
looking at it.
flashlight and I dipped.
My flashlight was off, is the thing.
Okay.
I don't remember what the electric bitch didn't like, so.
He likes the dark. Here,
Yeah,
he's
so,
attracted.
like-
Sorry, he's attracted to light.
Okay. So what the fuck?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh no. I
Uh-oh.
can hear that.
That's a dog.
Oh hey. I found the door to revive myself.
Oh,
But I don't know if I want to
fantastic.
anymore.
I would like you to come save me from this fucking dog that I just heard. Please, God.
The thing is, I hear it.
I fear it. I don't want to see it.
I kind of do.
You know what? You make a good point. I also kind of do. They said with the dog, you're just supposed to stare at it.
I think you're supposed to yell at it.
No, it doesn't like loud noises. But it...
Alright, well I got my shit.
Is that you standing right there?
What?
That-
Probably.
Is that you?
I see a flashlight.
Okay.
Oh my god, it is you, thank god.
I was about to be so scared if I turned that corner that was not you. Okay.
That would have been the worst.
Oh my god. Okay, so I got fucking... I got...
Pliers out of the 4487.
Yes, but I don't know what to use
The
the
fuck do we
pliers.
do with that?
We have to find something to use the pliers on? I guess, but like what?
I guess so.
Have you seen a fire extinguisher anywhere? Because apparently we
No.
need one to get into the...
Why do we need a...
We need a level
I don't
3...
think it's a fire extinguisher.
No, it is. That's what it's called. It's a level 3 fire extinguisher that we need to get into that radiated
Oh.
room.
What was that?
Uh-huh. Well, what's that? Yeah, Yiggy standing in the corner was probably the scariest thing this game has thrown at me yet. Oh, fuck me.
Jesus Christ!
Oh, no.
I was just like, what? Oh! God!
Oh, my God.
Fucking damn it!
Oh, my fucking God.
You good, Peach?
Yeah, I'm good. Is it gone? Okay. Oh god! Piss off! We're going to hell!
Come here! Come on! Let me at him! Let me at him! Let me at him! Let me at him!
Oh my god! He got both of us! Like you big ass bitch!
Anyways,
Oh god, we gotta fucking revive.
you only have a certain number of lives, apparently?
Yeah, you have 10. Oh. Oh god. Alright, well, I was not expecting to open the door and get jumped by Big Boy.
Oh, you can open doors while you're a ghost?
Yeah, you sure can. Iggy, I'm gonna need you to hurry it the fuck up.
Oh, okay.
I'm scared. I don't want to do this alone. Hi.
Hi.
Glad we did that together.
Yeah.
Alright, so we have to wander around now to figure out what we use these pliers for, but every time I open this fucking door,
Yeah, I'm not walking through that anymore.
we don't have a choice. He came around that corner
Fuck.
so fucking fast, dude. There was no light warning or nothing for him.
The Shadow Man?
Yes!
Yeah! He's the worst.
This fucking string bean looking ass. Are
At
we
least the String Man is like...
Oh, now there's a light.
Is there?
There's for me.
Oh, hi! Hey, fuck you! Fuck you!
I'm watching you die through the fucking... I'm watching you die through the fucking... through the fucking hiding place.
I saw my body fall.
This area is cursed.
It is!
Oh my god.
Bro's fucking spawn camping.
What a fucking asshole. Gora, I'm trying to get the fuck out of here.
I'm gonna say I'm back.
Alright, hi. He went back behind us, I think, so... I guess just keep an eye out for that.
Fucking... You'll keep an eye out for me.
Yeah, I saw...
It says it doesn't like... It likes electricity or whatever?
It likes the
like-
radios.
Okay, well, we're not using the radios. Oh, here's the dead bodies.
That's cool. There's a...
A note.
Oh, look for the VHS tape. I already found it. Okay, so here's the dead bodies. Can we give them back their pieces?
Oh, shit! Oh, God. You're telling me we have to remember whose is whose?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding?
Yeah, no.
Didn't the first guy miss his hand, right?
Leg, I believe.
Celine Delgado? Oh, they have their
Oh, they have their
names there. We have to
names.
remember their names.
Okay, I remember
you
some of their
fucking
names.
kidding?
Oh, there's also...
Jennifer Marley.
This is over here, and this has a number code on it.
Oh,
Look at the
that's it?
corpses. They hide a secret code. Just pay attention to the blood.
Fucking what?
1, 4, 5.
Where are you getting those numbers from?
I'm going based off of the ones that have blood on them, but I guess it would be better to go off the ones that don't.
Maybe? Harmon's...
Uh-oh.
What? What is that? Oh?
I heard him stomping, and one of the lights turned red.
Oh.
I don't really think we have anywhere to hide in here, however.
Nope. One of us does.
No, not even one of us. We can't get into this. It's locked.
Oh!
Yeah, there wasn't a door in here.
Oh! Okay.
So maybe he won't come in. Maybe I can be stupid.
Lena Reynolds. Jonathan Galindo.
Attention to the blood. 2, 3,
Nathan
6.
Allen. Robert Nilo. I don't remember any of these names. Wait, Frank Ellman. Wasn't that the eye guy? No, that was the hand guy.
Yes.
Alright, cool. I put his fingers in. Marlene Williams. I don't remember shit.
I got the door open. There's a hammer
fuck yeah.
and a nose.
Oh, the hammer! Nose?
Yeah, one of the people was missing their nose, remember?
Alright,
Hi,
oh, the nose,
Eighth.
nose.
How are you? Okay, how are you getting these guys' names? Oh.
I'm pressing E on the... Yeah.
Celine Delgado, I believe... Uh-oh. Run.
What?
Run.
Huh?
Okay. He's passed. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I believe Celine
Maybe if you
Delgado...
put your flashlight away,
I don't know.
it won't come?
I'm putting it away just to be safe. Celine Delgado.
Oh, found him!
Oh! Hey, bud. Don't bother me. I'm busy. Oh, turns out he can kill you while you're,
Come on, come at me, bro! Come at me, bro!
He's so loud.
I don't think we can do this. I don't think we're smart enough for this.
No, we absolutely are. We absolutely are. I gotta find my door. Hold on.
I've fucking died so many times.
No.
I'm starting to get Stockholm syndrome from this fucker.
No, it's okay. I didn't realize he could follow us in there. I thought for sure. Okay, so that's the door we need to unlock.
I found the door for me.
Wireman does not.
By the VHS.
Oh, great, great.
Oh, I can't interact with it while I'm dead. That would
Shit.
be so easy.
Yeah, it sure would be. The Wireman does not care for the pursuits of science.
Fucking asshole.
Yeah, he's the
All right,
worst.
are you? Oh, you're not back yet?
No, I'm still looking. I have not found the door.
I'm just teabagging you, don't worry.
I hear him stepping.
There's gotta be a way to stop them, right?
I don't know.
Maybe if we scream at them?
Ugh.
Like, I think you're supposed to scream at the dog thing.
I don't think you are. Also, the fact that there's nowhere to hide in here is gay.
It is.
Okay, so we need to go back to the VHS, essentially.
Yeah. Which was close by,
Okay, do you remember how to get there?
I think. No.
Don't waste your run, we're probably gonna need it.
Not like there's anything you can do to stop them.
Run.
They'll just chase you.
If you can make it to a Heidi.
Can they not
No, they can't get
see
you when
you
you're
at
in there.
all?
No, not when
They
you're in
can't?
there. That's not the right way.
No, it is not.
Yeah, I saw him when he was jumping you earlier. And we made what I believe to be as close to eye contact as you can make with that man.
Mm-hmm.
And he did not seem to give a shit that I went into the ID. Oh,
What was that?
I don't know. We're leaving. That's not even the right way. So don't worry about it.
I'm just hiding. I'm just hiding. I don't give a fuck. I'm hiding.
Bitch. Maybe it would be better if one of us found the... Oh, the VHS room. Found it. Okay.
How do I know if it's safe?
Frank Elmond, you don't. You just have to bum rush it. Frank Elmond was missing his left foot. So Frank is missing his foot. Lena is missing her hand. Oh no, Lena's missing her nose. Okay.
Hang on, I need water. Hang on 1 second.
No, you're good. Lena's missing her nose. Marlene is...
Okay, Gore's got it written down.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Let me
Marlene
grab
is
water
missing
real
her
quick while I'm
ear.
hiding.
Without the left ear.
Marlene is missing her ear. Okay. Alright, I don't have everything that I need for this. I think YGGY's got some of it. Oh, fuck me! Oh, fuck me! Okay. Okay.
Okay, I got
Uh-huh.
water.
Cool.
Are you alive?
I am. I just got chased down, however, and had to run back and
Oh, I just realized I'm alone.
I'm right here. Hi.
Oh,
Okay, we
thank
gotta
God
come
you
back
weren't
to
wearing
where
a leprechaun hat, or I would have shit myself.
Yeah, no, you're lucky you were in there because my man tore ass around that corner.
Which one? The circuit man?
Yeah.
Jerry?
Yeah.
What was that?
I don't know. None of my business.
It might. Oh God, there he is.
Let's go. We're gonna hang out in a locker for a minute.
There's a locker for me. There's no locker for me.
He just doxing an entity in live time. Well, you know,
Found one.
you found one?
It's the same one. I don't care.
God.
I hate him.
Fuck that guy. Is he still down there? Alright, he's not down here anymore. You gonna come back?
I'm trying.
Take your time. Okay.
I'm back.
Alright, welcome back.
What was that?
That's just the lights turning on and off. I've discovered that they just do that.
Alright. I don't like that.
I don't much care for it either. Okay. Nope. Not that way. Run.
What?
He's coming.
Cable man?
Yes. There's a bunch of lockers down here. I saw the lights change and I heard his big ass
Alright.
fucking feet. Okay, I think we're okay. I think we're okay.
Those big sexy feet of his?
God, just seeing your head sticking out across the way. We're good. We're good.
I mean, honest, I don't know how much of this I can take.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We're almost there.
Are we?
I would like to believe so. Okay, where did we find those people?
I don't know.
Shit. No, this is not it. This is the room with all of the... Okay.
Wait, we have the hammer.
Oh yeah, we do! Okay, bet.
I have it. Oh,
What'd it drop?
I don't know, but there's a bunch of them.
Alright.
Alright, so we both have access to the key items. That's good.
Hmm.
Hang on, let me take some pills.
No, you're good. Take some pills. Hmm.
I guess not. Oh, this dropped a, thing.
What'd it drop?
It dropped a big red key.
We need that for the door. Okay. Gore says this is gonna attract monsters. I'm saying, Gore, shut your whore mouth.
I sure hope it does.
Okay.
I kind of miss them.
You missed the
Wait,
monsters?
Where are you?
I'm
Where are
back
you?
in the room with all of the I'm over here. Come on. This way.
I hear you clicking. There you are.
This is the safest room because look at all these fucking...
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm letting you take point. Fuck this shit. What was that?
I saw his arm through the wall.
Yeah, no, me too.
Just let him have his moment.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably gonna come in here next, honestly. So just, yep, see? Yeah, I fucking told you. It's fine. I should not have left. It is red in here. I'm going back in.
It's not red for me, so I don't even have that cue.
It's okay, I have the cue, so I'll just tell you. Hi, Jimmel!
Yeah.
It's okay that you're late. I'm terrified. I got a job now, I be working. I'm so proud of you. I'm hiding for my life. Alright, it's still red in here. Why is it still red?
I'm hiding from my wife. Ark, 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 ark.
Why is it still red? Is he
Oh,
just...
sorry, that was my piss.
Is he just standing here? Go away! God. Alright. I don't see him. Oh!
What?
He's walking back down the hall. Still red, though. Why does it turn you... Okay, it's not red anymore. You're good. You can come out.
Okay.
Two people older than me? I may or may not be older than you. We don't know. I don't remember where this hall leads. Ah, okay. Cool. Good to know.
Cool.
We just have to find those bodies again. It's okay. We can do
You
it.
have the key at least.
We do have the key. I have a weird feeling that key's not gonna save us, however.
No, probably not.
Okay, that's the horse room.
Horse. Yeah.
Haunts. Okay. Oh, I think we turned down here. I think this was the first place we went. Okay. Yes. Bodies. Okay.
All right, we have it written in chat.
Yes, and I have the wrong thing here. So this
All right.
is, what is it? Hold on. I gotta scroll back up. Okay, this is Celine Delgado, who lost nothing. Can I take the hand back? Can I have the hand back? I cannot. I would like to take the hand back. Oh, I can. Okay, there we go. All right, Celine Delgado, Jennifer Marley. Oh, you fucker!
Oh God!
Ugh.
Worst.
God.
He is the worst.
Is he gone? Okay, yeah, he's gone. I think if
I
you just
hate
take your
those.
meds, he goes away. Lena Reynolds. Okay, Lena Reynolds has the hand.
Really gotta hand it to her.
You just keep an eye out on the doorway. No, Jonathan.
Yeah, why is that my
Because I've got all the
serious
items.
stub?
Nathan. No, Nathan.
We share items,
Do we?
except for consumables. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
Like I picked up the hammer.
Carmen. Oh, of course, they're gonna be the two people closest to the fucking door.
course.
Frank is the foot.
Frank. F for foot.
We don't share items. You have the foot. Come give that to Frank.
Where's Frank?
Up here, right next to me. No. This one, right here.
Frank. Inventory. Foot. Use. That work?
Okay, I think we're still... I have a finger or something, so I think we're still
Use?
missing somebody.
Oh. I still have fingers in my inventory.
Hmm. Okay, so there are still people who need items. How are we supposed to find those people, though? Because I have a nose. Oh,
I
wait,
have an
Lena had the
eye?
nose. Wait. Gore wrote it down the wrong way the first time.
God damn it, Gore.
A mirror has broken.
the
The
fuck?
mirror.
Oh, the mirror!
Okay. Oh my god. Hold on.
What?
Let me scroll back down in chat. Okay. The mirror.
This is not as fun as Lethal Company. It's not goofy.
That is so fucking correct. Okay, not this way.
It's not goofy, ha-ha.
But it's not goofy ha-has at all. Shut up! Stop bang-a-langin'! Makes me uncomfortable. Ah!
Woo! Ah! Ah! Rah! 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 So that didn't work.
Did you just bark at it a punch?
I think I did. I think I did. We're not goofy goonin'.
I just found new stuff. There are multiple levers, but only 3 can be up at the same time. That's cool. I don't want to be over here.
I got that dog in me.
Yeah, you sure do. Why was you barking at that grown-ass man's? Oh, there you are. Hey.
I thought... Because I thought that's what the thing said.
No, it's...
To, like, intimidate or something.
Yeah, you're supposed to stare at it. You're not supposed to bark at it.
Well, I was also staring at it.
Oh, fucking Shadow Man's down there.
God damn it.
Fuck Fuck me.
Why doesn't he go bother Paul Blart?
Yeah, what?
Where'd you go?
I'm right here.
You're just like, what? What was that?
Okay, we're back at the elevator.
Oh, great.
This is the main hub. That's why I keep coming back to it.
Yeah.
It helps me feel safe. I don't think they'll try and kill me at the elevator.
They probably will.
Oh, yeah, they probably will. Okay, the mirror shattered. The door. Okay. We have the red key. Okay.
Area unlocked.
Oh, no.
What?
Why are there just paintings?
Oh no.
The fuck is
Oh, they're really nice paintings though.
Yeah, they're lovely.
Look, this
Oh,
is of the beach that we'll never see again.
why are there so
This
many?
is a lighthouse that I'll also never see again.
There are teeth. Why are there teeth in a picture of a cat?
I don't know.
Oh, I've got teeth now. Oh,
Great.
another number code system. I'll take that almond
Hey,
water.
Beach?
I did use some of it. Hey, yeah.
I don't think I can do this. I think I'm.
I'm getting raided. Hi, Annie.
Oh
How are you? I hope you're having a great day. I hope your stream was great. I hope you enjoyed Skyrim.
no! I think we should just light the backrooms on fire.
Yeah, I would like to light all of the backrooms on fire because that wasn't at all what I
Like
was.
this wallpaper seems pretty flammable.
Yeah. It absolutely does. I think Iggy is 100% correct. I am having a time. Is it good? Not necessarily. Okay,
With
so
friends,
here's where the
though?
mirror broke.
Uh-huh.
So we can come back here now.
But there's like some sort of fucking.
There's just fuses back here. Oh, this is where we
Yep.
ran to the dog earlier.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, so only 3 of these fuses can be pulled at a time.
Fucking Lieutenant Surge all over again.
Yeah. The dog's fine though. If you run from him, I don't think he chases you for very long. So. But I hope you had a good stream.
Yeah,
Skyrim
apparently
is.
my fight or flight instinct is to bark.
Yeah, well, that, that's very fair.
Why is this one blue?
I turned one on just to see.
No, this lever is blue. That one's red.
Oh yeah, this lever is green and that one's purple. Yes, please go pick up some food. Have a good one. We do definitely need to catch up for sure. And thank you so much for the raid. I'm so sorry. I'm
This one's orange.
fighting
Are they
for my
rainbow?
life. They are colored, but only 3 can be on at a time. That's yellow. So, do we need to find the 3 that match? I turned on 3.
None of them seem to match.
Yeah. Well, turning them on, you have to turn them back off once you decide that that's not the one you want.
Yeah.
So. You fucker. You piece of shit.
Shadow Man,
Yes. Fucking
the worst.
The worst.
He is the worst.
I ran face first into him. Oh, there's a door back here.
Oh, there sure is.
So once you light the right fuse, it
Does it?
turn green, maybe? Go light the fuses.
All right.
I'll tell you.
Why me?
Okay, fine, I'll do it. Oh, wait, okay. This one?
You're the one with all the warnings.
All right. Is it green?
Nope.
All right, not that one then. This one?
Yep.
Okay. This one?
Nope.
All right. This one?
Yep.
All right. And this one?
Nope.
Hold on, I gotta find another one. Oh. Okay, we'd already tried that one. Is there another one back here? Oh, you fucker!
Shadow Man again?
Yes. Piece of shit. Okay, so we already tried the brown one. Okay, so that's 2.
Yeah.
I think Shadow Man is standing directly in front of the one that I need.
Probably. What an asshole.
What a fucking cunt.
Such an asshole.
What a fucking sizable cunt. You don't think I tried brown again? Alright, I'll try brown again. That one?
Nope.
Nope. Not Gore yelling at me for making you do it. Alright, this one?
Thank you, husband. Nope.
Nope. Alright. This one?
Nope.
Nope. So it's none of the ones I already tried. Are you still over here? Okay, thank God he's not. Got it.
Yep, we got it.
Yeah, he was literally standing right in front of the one
What
that I
an
needed.
asshole.
Fucking cunt.
That's such a dick move.
Oh.
Oh.
We have the protection suits!
Oh!
Geiger counter, extinguisher, we need those.
Mm-hmm.
Anti-anxiety pills. If you need more of the anxiety pills, grab them while you can.
I grabbed one. And I'm good.
Okay, good. Alright, so... should we put this on?
I think it's auto on, or... Oh, it's not. You just use it and it's on.
Ah, you use it. Okay.
Oh, you look great.
Oh, thank you so much. You look pretty good too. Does this not keep us
thank you.
safe at all?
Probably not. Just from radiation.
Oh, well, great. Just from radiation.
Unless those guys are, you know...
Irradiated? God, that would make this
Well-
whole situation so much worse, I think.
Well, even if they're irradiated, they're still, like, after our asses.
True, they're still, like, dangerous beings. Alright.
Like, you know, you fight a bear, you're not gonna necessarily have
At least the bear's not
as hard of a
irradiated.
time. Well, I was gonna say you're not gonna have a worse time if the bear is irradiated. You're still gonna get mauled.
I guess you make a good point.
Even if you put on a hazmat suit, if it's irradiated, you're still fighting a bear.
Well, maybe wearing the hazmat suit will make me feel a little better about fighting the bear.
Well, sure.
There's a door here? How long has there been a
sure is.
door here?
Damn it.
Just pills? Nothing of use?
Yeah.
Alright.
There's almond milk.
Thanks, Gore.
Why is it almond milk?
I don't know. I think the creator really likes almond milk.
Or it doesn't, because he put it all in the fucking back rooms.
True. Yeah, thanks, Gore.
Would you rather be in the woods with a man, a bear, or an irradiated bear?
Asking the real questions. I'll take the irradiated bear for 500, please.
Yeah.
At least if the bear gets
bark
close
at
to
it or
me.
something.
At least if the bear gets close to me, I'll die of radiation.
Well, it depends how irradiated it is.
I guess that's fair.
Like, we're talking like YGGY. at
Okay,
that
this is
point,
where we
that's
need to
just, like,
be.
mutated.
Sorry. Yeah, Gore did take a few weeks of radiology. Gore did go to radiology school. Okay, shutting the door
Yeah?
behind me. He is correct. These suits really don't do shit.
Really?
Why
Are we
did
backing
that
up?
light turned red? Oh, it's just turning red as I get close to it? Run!
I'm running! Why'd you close the door?
Would you
I made
rather
it.
be in the woods with a man or the Shadow Man? Okay.
Did you die?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Did you die? Are you good?
Mm-mm.
Okay, thank fucking Christ.
I'm good this time.
Okay.
I saw him walk past me.
Okay, thank God. Alright. I'll meet you back in the room.
Well, I don't know
You know-
how
I'm st-
I can tell if he's gone because I don't have the red light.
well, I don't hear him. I'm standing in the doorway flashing. Which I'm gonna regret if he comes through this doorway.
All right, where are you? Okay, I see you.
Alright, bet. Yeah, I regretted shutting that door the moment I did it.
Yeah?
I came up this way, I saw that the light was red, and I went, oh, my game's probably just glitching out. Nope, homie was
Nope.
standing in this fucking corner right here.
He was fucking spawn camping.
He
for
was
us.
waiting. All right, we can go in here now.
Man, do you think they avoid radiation?
I would fucking hope so. Okay, so we gotta find items in here that are irradiated. You have to use the Geiger counter. So...
Oh, this is irradiated as fuck.
You can tell? Oh, yeah. All
What
right.
was that?
Ella.
This is not.
I'm not really 100% sure what we're supposed to do with these items once we discover that they are
The
irradiated.
crutches are irradiated. Oh, extinguish. Extinguish.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you get those, I'll get this one.
Yeah.
Did that do it? Yep. All right.
Yep.
It stays unirradiated for up to 3 minutes, I believe it said.
All right. What the fuck do we do with it? There's a fucking teddy bear.
I'm not sure. Oh.
Can't even pick it
Oh,
up.
whenever the amount of radiation goes down enough, this door over here opens. That's what they
Which
said.
door?
There's a door over here. Behind you. Up here. There's a door right here. So,
Oh.
you see the contamination level? It has to drop down
Oh.
enough. Oh. Don't go that way.
No!
Yeah, don't go that way. Oh, God.
I hate him and his stupid huggy wuggy face.
Oh, there's another item. Oh, that's not irradiated anymore. Job. An item right here, too. Can you come spray this one?
Irradiated.
Yeah, here, you spray. I'll check for irradiation. And keep an eye on our surroundings. Oh. That's not irradiated.
Oh.
Surprisingly. I can't see shit in here. That's not irradiated. Is there anything else in here? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, is fucking Smile Dog gone?
Shadow. Fuck if I know.
Oh, there's a bucket? Not irradiated.
God damn it.
These clothes are.
Where are you?
Right next to you. And so are these papers.
Yeah, an extinguisher definitely cannot put out radiation.
Can't in this game. I'm pretty sure that's just this Cheshire Cat. It could be.
I'm pretty sure it's Huggy Wuggy.
Okay, so the extinguisher only puts out radiation for up to 3 minutes. So...
Where's that door?
yeah.
Like that door?
There's that door. Ugh, not quite yet. We need
Ugh.
3 more items. Okay, big boy's gone though.
Okay, cool.
That's fine. Oh, right here. Whatever this is, that's irradiated.
Gas mask.
Uh,
Got it.
okay. Check the door.
2 more.
2 more.
2 more.
There has to be something else. We're missing something. We have to be.
I do not like that sound.
Oh, Smile Dog's behind us. Oh no.
What do you mean he's behind us?
Oh no. Big boy, the lights are red.
We're fucked.
We're so fucked. There's nothing over here for us. Where is he? Okay, I'll take the brunt of it.
Sure?
Positive. I can outrun him. There's also a room. There's like, just find a hiding place and immediately go in it. I'll tell you whenever the red goes away.
Oh, you found one?
Sorry.
Found one!
Okay,
oh, no,
good.
it's not! It's a fucking... It had shit in it!
Oh my god. Okay, well the
I
red's
got moth jelly!
the red's gone. The red's gone. So
Well, I picked up moth jelly.
what the fuck is moth jelly?
I don't know! A very rare jelly consuming will produce an energy boost, apparently.
Hey,
Hey.
is there anything in here? Oh, there's another room back here. Hit the lights?
Where?
Hit the lights? Oh, no, there's not. Okay.
Yeah.
We're missing something. But where?
The other shit's gonna
Yeah,
become re-irradiated.
that's how that works for sure.
Yep.
This is where we came in.
Yep.
Okay. What the fuck are we missing? We're missing two things.
I don't know.
I'm like, should we just spray everything?
I mean, we did.
Oh, found it.
Oh.
The door unlocked.
It opened.
Oh god. Why is it so dark all of a sudden? Wait, which direction
Where's
was
the
the
door?
door? Was it this direct? Nope, not that direction.
Nope. What was that?
I don't know. Just keep running.
Where'd you go?
I'm around the corner.
Which corner?
It's okay. I found a dead end, so don't find me.
I'm getting in the locker. I don't care.
Hiding in the locker. Girl, the door opened.
I know. I don't know where it is. There you are.
Hi. Is it this way? Nope, not that way.
No.
I feel like we bumped into the door multiple times. There it is.
Oh, thank God.
There's doors down here? Double doors?
Apparently.
The fuck's around that corner? Oh, a file. Okay. Oh, Entity 10. There's a creature that wanders aimlessly. It seems to have no consciousness until it is hungry, at which point it becomes aggressive.
Oh!
It likes to skin its victims and steal their skin. He can smell blood over long distances, so if you're hurt, you should heal quickly. Cool. So
Great.
don't let yourself get hurt. This guy will get you.
I fucking die every time anyways.
So every time you get hurt near me, this guy's gonna come for us.
Try using the pliers.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was grabbing stuff out of there.
Oh, thank God.
Okay. Yeah, just close that. Why'd it get so dark?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure we reached the next level, though.
Oh no. You escaped the dark rooms. What the fuck are those? Can you not do anything with them?
I'm gonna...
What?
Alright, I got the achievement. I'm done with this game.
What is that? What is that? Pick up.
Moth
oh, that's the
jelly?
moth jelly. I hadn't seen any. What the fuck is moth jelly for?
Fuck if I know! It's for restoring energy, I guess.
Oh
Is it
yeah.
still irradiated, by the way?
What?
It's no longer irradiated, apparently.
Oh. Well. Yeah, it recovers your stamina. Okay, I just want to go look. And then we can be done.
Yeah? Like, what do we got?
Okay, I see.
The pressure sensor? Oh. That's... Oh, you only have...
Oh, that's what the dive is for!
Oh!
See his dive? Oh god.
Oh!
We're gonna walk this way. Slowly, calmly. We're gonna pretend we didn't see that.
We are?
Yep. We're gonna walk
What if I
on.
screamed at him and then just like...
I mean, you can whistle. Whistling is a button if you would like to see him up close.
I mean, if we're just gonna like...
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna quit the game not very long after this, so. You bitch!
Did it do anything?
I heard him roar.
It roared?
It made a really loud noise. It didn't come though.
I'll make him come.
I promise?
Yeah.
Found a valve.
Oh, we needed that.
I'm sure we did. Oh god, you eating that so close to me?
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Hello, sir.
Run.
Nah, I'm good.
Are you-
Yo, we got a vagina mouth.
Ew! Bro, the fuck?
Did you see that? Did you see him?
I didn't. I'm looking for more
You
valves.
really got a vagina mouth?
Ooh, I see. I see the problem here. You have to find the valves because, there's toxic gas.
Cool.
Every which way you look.
Yeah, I know that my door is here.
Alright, well, you just run along the sidelines. Oh god! Leave me be! Leave me be! Oh
Is it
god.
the cannibal man?
Ow, yeah. He's eating me.
With the mouthussy?
Yeah. Oh, I'm in the mouth!
See, he got a mouthussy.
Oh. Did he also mouthussy you?
Yeah.
Oh. Oh yeah, I see
Yeah,
the
he sure
shadow of you running around. What the fuck are you supposed to do about the mouthussy, though?
I don't know.
Also,
It's like we haven't seen...
this guy's fine, honestly. He's not nearly as scary as the other guys.
Well, I think it's because, like, we got a good look at him.
Yeah, I also feel like he doesn't really, like, he chases, but that's
right.
not, like,
you know what you're getting.
yeah. Though, I do know one thing about this guy, which is after
What?
he kills you, or, like, one of your friends, sometimes he will wear their skin and will walk around. So the more people you have playing this game,
My God.
the worse it is.
That's
because you can
awful.
you can play with up to 4 people.
Mm-hmm.
So the more people you
And if you're not doing, like, Discord chat like we are...
yeah, a lot of people do the in-game chat.
Right. Which you're supposed to.
Yeah, what the fuck?
No.
All right. Yeah, so if you're only doing in-game chat, the only way you would know that that's not your friend is if you tried to talk to it and it didn't talk back.
I would just assume they were having mic issues.
Exactly. Which is what makes it so fucked up.
Do we know about that red door?
Yeah, it's locked. We need a red key.
Fuck.
So I'm hitting all these valves.
We picked a different red key.
Yeah, oh, it's just walking over there. Oh, there's another
What,
valve,
Cannibal
though.
Man?
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go put this valve over here real quick.
Oh, he's kind of cute.
Gore said he would. That turn off the gas that's over there by him?
Hey, why is there just toxic gas in a parking garage?
Yeah, fucking banger ass question, Yigs. Oh, I'll take that. Because that goes all the way down here. Gore said would, and I'm now questioning his judgment.
No. I'm hearing him out.
Alright.
Go on, Gart. Explain yourself, please.
Why are you taking so many pills?
Yum, yum, yum.
Maybe it's specific valves? No, I think that's all of them. I think I got all of them. Why is he yelling? Where is he? What that mouth do? Stop saying we're getting bored by mouth pussy.
No! Fucking, I'm hearing chat out. I'm hearing chats out.
Are you?
Cause like, I'm pretty sure I'm getting Stockholm Syndrome from this place.
This one specifically?
So like,
God damn it,
If
we're
I
missing one
can't-
valve.
oh, there's the toxic gas.
Yeah.
Awfully specific.
Awfully specific,
What
ain't
happens
it?
if I,
Yeah, can we use our hazmat suits?
can I like, what happens if I just sniffer? Alright, yeah, that hurts.
Have you tried your hazmat suit?
No, I haven't.
I'll let you do that while I look for the other.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work.
Hmm.
Which, not surprising.
We're missing one. And I'm like, how are we not finding it? Okay, big boy's over there.
There you
Oh, he's coming. Why is he coming? Who's he coming for?
Oh, hi!
Did you let him get you?
I didn't
Oh, I'm so...
purposefully.
Oh.
I got inside a locker.
Okay, that's probably for the best. Oh god, where the fuck did he go? Alright. Oh! You have meaty slaps, sir!
You have meaty slap!
He be slapping meatily. He do be having some meaty little slaps.
Oh, found the leak.
You found the last leak?
I don't know where the valve is.
I know,
but-
that's what I'm trying to find. Me playing the bongos?
Oh, found it.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Oh, he found me.
Oh no. Where are y'all?
At the far end.
Okay, so you have it though, right?
No, I didn't grab it.
Oh shit. Oh, hi.
Oh, you good now?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm out of milk.
You're out of milk? Oh, that's unfortunate.
It is. It's right over here, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I have found almond. Oh, it's almond water?
Oh, fascinating.
What? Stellar with the raid. Welcome, raiders.
Hi, raiders.
I'm not gonna equip it. I'm just gonna use it.
There's also an access card?
Yeah. Is it? What color was it? Blue.
Blue.
Also, the valve is.
I grabbed the valve, yeah. Alright.
We're currently suffering.
That fixed the leak.
Yes.
Okay, bet.
Yes. Okay. It was very slow. I'm like, I swear to God. Oh, okay.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
I was gonna say, I swear to fucking God.
That's the sound of his...
We are-
Why is it scary music?
Great question.
Oh, that's why
Oh,
it's
that's why.
scary
Run!
music! Run! Oh! No! Don't do that to me! I can't get upstairs! I can't
don't touch me
see!
there. This is my. Come on, he probably can't get up these stairs.
Okay, hold on. We're okay. I need milk.
You need milkies? Me too.
Oh. Yeah, I also need some pills. There's a button down there I think I was supposed to hit.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. It's okay.
There.
He's not right here. Oh, it locks
Oh.
him back there. Oh, so there's some milk down here. Do you want that almond water?
Do you need it?
No, I'm good. I still have 3, I think.
Okay.
Okay. We're good.
Wait, I like Gaz's thing.
Gaz's thing.
We were all on our farm until Ducky no-clipped out of reality, so now we're traversing the back rooms to find her.
That's exactly
yes,
right.
Go get food.
Whoa.
Go get food. Go.
Fun fact, this version of
Whoa.
the Backrooms, like this whole hotel situation, is based off of an actual hotel in Russia.
Really?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's real fucked up to
Huh.
me. That you can look out the window and just see
The hotel?
just everybody. You can see into each other's windows.
Oh. Oh yeah, you can.
That's how I felt when I was at the hospital with Bunny. In my room, I could see into other people's rooms through my window sometimes.
What was that?
I don't know. I'm continuing on. I'm choosing to ignore it.
All right.
Elevator!
Oh my fucking god.
There's a note. Try
What was it with
this.
the-
2310.
Don't have to tell me twice. You almost did it though, because I almost forgot the code.
Oh wait, you still had the red key from the other.
No, that needed a red key card.
Oh.
Red access key.
So
we got another
we
thing
escaped the
done, I
parking
guess.
garage, so that's cool of us. Now we're in my old job, a filing room.
Oh.
What the fuck is that?
What?
It likes to trick people
What
with
is what?
party objects.
Wait, move. I want to see this.
Hold on. It said that if you see a balloon floating, run away immediately.
You'll float too.
Pretty much.
All right, I want to see this. I want to see this. Oh, hello.
Avoid the balloons. Yeah, yeah. My flashlight doesn't do shit here.
It really doesn't. Thank God for all those pills.
No, pussy!
Oh, fuck. Hello, sir. Well, time to find out.
Where am I?
Elevator is safe.
Is it?
Yeah?
Because I just ran into the abyss. I don't know where I am.
Oh, no, it's not.
Damn it.
Sir.
Sir.
It is, in fact, not safe, actually.
Oh, this computer is on. Yeah, is there a light switch anywhere around here? Or like a stronger flashlight, maybe?
Yeah, like, it's not... Oh, hey, here's my door.
Can you see when you're dead? Should I let something kill me so I can at least see?
Oh, yeah, I could see. Where'd you go?
I don't
Is it
know, I
back
just
here?
ran.
Oh, that opened that door.
Great.
Oh, that's back here!
Back where?
Back at the start.
I found a red light. I'm walking towards it.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a great idea.
No, it doesn't, but there's not a balloon. So,
Alright, well, who's to say that that's the only thing here?
find the exit. A red door
No.
with a fucking... What do you call them? The Hanukkah candles?
Menorah?
Yeah. It looks like a menorah.
But just candles. Okay.
There's a
well,
red
now I
door
need to
with a
see this.
menorah somewhere.
God. Okay, there you
Yeah.
go. This- That's not a fucking menorah.
It's not, but it's the closest thing I could think of
Why?
that looked like it.
Trident? How about?
Oh, yeah.
How about a trident?
Yeah, a trident. A trident's a good word for it. Yeah, I didn't think
Rather
about
than
that.
a fucking menorah?
I was like, man, the creator of the Backrooms is Jewish? What?
Oh my god.
This just in, the Backrooms are payback for everything that's ever bad that's ever happened to the Jews
Yours
ever.
actually spitting?
Oh,
Oh yeah, it's a sigh. It's the Greek sigh.
door?
Hello?
It's strange in here.
Oh, it is. I love that we never figured out how to use the spray paint.
Nope. We're getting along just
Oh.
fine without it. Yeah, shit's upside down over here.
Hmm.
What's in that?
No, the code. The arrows shows the code, but it's a flipped room.
So the code will be backwards?
You know, I actually
Oh, there's
noticed.
a safe. Okay, so the code's gonna be backwards, essentially. Start turning the number cylinder to the left or right, then turn it to the other direction, then the other direction again, and so on.
Oh, there you are. Whoa.
Yeah, there's a safe here, so we have to use the arrows to get the code, and then reverse it backwards.
Oh, my brain will not be able to do this.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Just follow the arrows.
Yeah?
We got 4. Wait, should we start from where we came in the door?
40.
Okay, so 50, 20, 60, 50, 20, 60, 40. So it says start right? Can you read that sign?
Start turning the number cylinder to the left
Left.
or right.
Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, so
Then turn it the other direction.
50.
It was 40 first, I thought.
Oh, 40. Then 50?
40.
Wait, hold on.
40, 50, 20, 60.
Okay, so 40. Oh, okay, I see. What the fuck? No. 40. I am fighting for my life with this thing.
Want me to try?
Yeah, you try, because I'm losing my
Alright.
fucking marbles.
Wait, why did it say 70?
Yeah,
What?
exactly. I'm not gonna throw up, Kool-Aid. We're all good. I'm gonna stand right here at the door.
No, not 10.
See what I mean? Most infuriating part of the game, truly. I'm gonna eat my pizza.
Oh my god, wait, how many? Oh my
You can
god.
just keep going. You can just keep going. Yeah. 50, 20, 60, 40.
God, this shit does not work.
Here, let me try again.
This shit does not work.
Okay, 50, 20. What was it? 50, 20,
60,
60,
40.
60,
I hear squelching.
40. I also hear squelching. Whatever's stomping around out there can keep it to itself. I shut the door, so. 50.
I mean, these things open doors.
40. It's fine. 60. 20. Hey, whatever's squelching around out there, shut the fuck up.
Diesel, stop squelching.
Okay, I see how this works now.
Okay.
I get it. Okay. So the
We're
way
so
this
back?
works is once you stop it and like move the opposite direction, it counts that as the number.
Okay.
Okay, so it's repeated.
It seems very inconsistent.
Yeah, it's not very consistent. What the fuck do you mean started at 0? Okay, so 50. Why the fuck did you start at 0? 50. Okay. What was it? 50, 20,
Yeah, 50, 20,
50, 20, 60, 40.
40. Yeah, 50, 20, 60, 40.
Okay. 60, 40. Stop counting 0, you piece of shit. 50, 20, 60, 40. It said no.
All right, then keep trying depending on the orders. Could be 40, 50, 20, 60, or 60, 40, 20, 50, or
40. Okay, let's do
try 4, 5, 2, 6.
4.
Maybe we should just think of them as this.
Yeah. Okay, so 4. Oh my god. I don't think it would do that. 5, 2, 6, 4. Let's do. What if you go backwards from the arrows? Which one? What number would that be?
Backwards?
Yeah. So starting at 4 and then walking backwards.
Oh my god, it's not a 6, it's a 9!
Our dumb fucking asses. Okay. So what is it? 50, 20, 40, 90?
Yeah?
50,
It's a 9!
20, 40, 90. That didn't work either.
Well, I mean, it's definitely a 9. Wait, what did you start with? Because it could be 50, 20, 90, 40.
50, 20, 90, 40. Okay. 50, 20. Ugh. Hey, can whatever's slapping around out there shut the fuck up?
Yeah! Stop having your balls slapping sex!
What the fuck? 50.
Alright, then try...
Hold on. I haven't even tried the last thing you told me because
Oh?
I'm struggling to fucking get it.
Can't believe we fucking did the 6
Stop
9
slapping! You're making me jealous!
We get it! You have sex!
Better than the rest of us, apparently.
We fucking get it!
5. Wait, is it 5, 2, 9, 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Stop starting with
Yeah.
0 or I'm going to
5,
fucking
2, 9,
kill you.
4.
Stop. Sometimes I don't think it registers the direction I'm going in.
It sure doesn't.
What the fuck?
This might be what breaks us, Peach. Is fucking safe.
Fucking safe! Okay. 5. Fuck! Okay.
I can only count to 4, so like...
Apparently soaking the safe! 5. 2. It went to 6! Fucking 5.
God?
2. 9. It didn't count the 9. Okay, 5. 2. They counted it as a fucking 0.
I have no idea, Diesel.
Okay.
Struggling a bit?
A little bit, but it's okay. We'll get it. All right, 5.
We will?
Yep. I'm not giving up. 2. 9. And 6. No,
not 6.
It's not 6, it's 4.
We're just gonna try every order, Diesel.
5. 2. 9. Why did it not register the 9?
We've only successfully tried one code, I'm pretty sure.
5. 2. It registered. That's gonna register the 2 as a fucking 0. I knew it.
God damn it.
5.
Oh my god.
2. Not 80. 5.
God!
No! 5.
I'm just standing guard.
2. That's a 3. 2. Okay. Okay. No, why did you count that as a 30?
Oh my God.
5.
I'm pretty sure it's the 5296.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is too. Oh, that's so much easier. I'm just
What?
stupid. 2.
Wait, what's easier?
You're just meant to do it 2 at a time.
Wait, what?
You're just meant to drag it slowly. I'm just stupid.
I thought I
wasn't
tried
right.
that and it just...
5296 wasn't right.
Alright.
So is it
Then-
6925?
Wait, did you do 6?
No, 4. Sorry.
What number? You did 4?
I believe I. Oh no, I didn't. Okay, we'll do it one more time.
5294?
Yeah, I did 5296. 5. It's okay. I got it. I figured it out. So it's easier.
Okay.
2.
Should I
9.
go look at what's squelching?
Leave it be. Leave it be. Whatever it is cannot harm us apparently because it doesn't know how to open doors.
It's too busy having sex.
That wasn't right.
Apparently.
That wasn't right.
Alright, then try...
4925.
No, 2945.
2. Okay. 9. 4. And
And you're going left, right, alternate?
5. Yes. That didn't work either.
Alright, then try 9452.
Okay. 9. 4. Please get your flashlight off my fucking thing. 5. Oh, that's you clicking.
Yeah?
That didn't work either.
That was 3. Which one didn't we try still? 5294?
5294. All right, we'll try
Wasn't that the first one?
5. Yeah, that is the first one. So let's do
4529.
4.
And you're going left,
5.
right, left, right?
Does it matter? It's calculating it either way.
Well, oh, I guess that's true.
4529 did not work either.
Then I have no fucking idea.
Hold on.
Holding.
Wait, okay, I got it. Hold on.
You do?
I think so. 4,
Wait.
9, 2. Stop stomping around out there. That didn't work.
No, it's always left. Okay.
Okay. I'm processing in my brain.
Okay.
5, 2.
Start turning the number zone to the left or right. Turn it to the other direction and another direction. Yeah, you just gotta switch directions each number.
Yeah. Okay. I tried 5249. 4. Oh. 5, 2. 4529. Try that. Let me on.
Hold on, I got it.
4529.
5, 2, 9. Wait, how do we input the last one?
You just go back one.
God! Didn't work.
4529 didn't work?
Nope.
Okay. So 4, 5, 2. I think that is a
4,
6. Try 4526. Oh no, you're right. That is a 9.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
so
has to be a
4529. So do 9254. There's another number.
Wait, what?
There's an 8
Where?
over here.
Oh my god, we're so
Okay.
stupid.
So it's 4.
Oh my fucking
5.
god. Oh my fucking god. 4, 5.
4, 5. 2.
Should be 2, yeah.
8.
Then is it 8 or 8 and then 9?
I think it's 8 and then 9. I'm trying to follow the arrows and they're a little confusing. This game is basically an escape room. Yeah, an escape room
No,
tried
it
to
ends
kill
in
you.
the 8. It ends in 8.
Oh, okay. So 4, 5.
Wait. Okay, so no, it starts with 9 then.
It has to, because nothing else is pointing to it.
It has to be 9, 4.
So 9, 4,
9, 4,
5,
5,
2,
2,
8.
8.
9, 4, 5, 2, 8, yeah. Our dumbasses just did not notice the 8.
9, 4, 5,
2, 8.
2, 8. Maybe if... Is that... Wait, 9,
4.
4, 5... Wait, no, it's... Is it 5, 2, 8 or 2, 5, 8?
5, 2, 8, because nothing else points back to the 5.
Okay. No, it didn't work.
Maybe do it backwards. 8, 2, 9, 5, 4.
Well, no, because it's clearly pointing to it.
Right, but everything's backwards, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, so what was it?
I got it.
Oh, you
Somebody
got it?
in chat wrote it down.
Okay, yeah, 8, 2, 9, 5, 4.
So...
A combo lock? Shut up! I haven't had to use one of these since fucking middle school.
Same, and I struggled with them then too.
That's why I didn't use mine in high school. I never fucking knew about what my locker even was.
Okay, so 8, 2, 9, 5, 4. That didn't work either.
Then what the fuck?
Are we just stupid?
Yeah,
Is that really a 6? Are we just dumb?
it can't be a
It
6.
can't be a 6. It cannot be. And yet...
And that is a 2. And the 8 doesn't point to anything, so like...
Oh my gosh.
I do not understand.
Hold on, Kula gave me a code that he wants me to try.
Did he?
Yeah,
The 45928?
yeah. I don't think that's correct.
Isn't that what...
We haven't done it with the 8. Nope, not incorrect, Kula.
Wait. Hang on.
4, 5, 9.
9? It has to start here.
Hey, can whatever's out there stop breaking shit? Yeah, it has to start with the 9, right?
Wait! 59428!
Alright, hold on. 5, 9, 4, 2, 8. Correct.
Let's go!
A motion tracker
Huh?
and oh, a security codex Oh. The next document represents the current codes. We have to decode the main PC.
What are you looking at?
I pulled out a security codex out of there. We have to decode the main PC.
Guess that's my job.
And I have this, which will tell me if there's anything near us.
Cool. Anyways, you want to see how I figured it out?
You started from the door?
Yeah, no, look. Door goes to the 5, and then it points to the 9.
Oh, which then points you back around.
Yep, and then you run to the wall.
Yeah.
So...
Alright, I'm gonna need your
No,
flashlight.
Diesel, you are getting... yes, but the wording...
I need your flashlight. Go ahead of me.
Oh, no.
I'll let you know if anything is nearby. We have a motion detector. There's nothing down that hall. So there are computers around. I've been in here already. We need the master computer. Am I going crazy?
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna take some anxiety meds real quick. See if that helps. Oh, yep, I totally was going crazy. Oh.
But your vision gets blurry?
There's something making its way over to us. It's getting very close. It is slapping.
Oh, here's the blue screen.
Yeah, I don't think we can use it there though.
No, Diesel, so when we were starting from the door, we were going 5-2.
Yeah. We had it right, but then we didn't realize the 8. Okay. We're good.
Okay.
It's still down there, but... Okay, now it's away from us.
It's the Pussy Man!
1, 2, Pussy Man's coming for you.
3, 4, he'll make you his whore.
5, 6, he's got no dicks.
7, 8. I can't say what happens without getting demonetized.
And upsetting some people.
Yeah.
Oh, this is where we came. Is this where we came in? No, this is.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is. You're so
No,
right.
yeah, that's what I was saying
Oh,
before.
it just loops back. Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Why is there a button here?
Summer.
God, you scared the
Get
shit
ready.
out of me. I don't know
This
why.
summer.
I thought suddenly the
Get
monsters
ready.
started narrating.
Singing. That's the baller monster.
Get ready for the period piece of a lifetime.
Are we walking towards it, or is it walking towards us?
Great question.
It's walking towards us. It's slapping. We're just gonna let it slap
we're just
away.
gonna chill a little bit. And it slapped it away. It slappy.
And he's slapping away. Alright, he's gone.
Till the very next day, squelch.
The Pussy Man came to the lemonade stand and he said to the man running the stand,
Hey, man.
Hey, bump.
Got any tampons?
Got any, I was gonna say lube, but
Or
Uh-oh.
pads actually would have matched
he's very
better.
close.
Do you think he cares about the light?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Pussy
Okay.
Man!
Well,
Leave me be! I can't escape him!
hey, buddy.
I cannot escape.
You're looking good today.
I cannot escape the Pussy Man. Oh, there's a birthday party happening over here.
Wait, what? Did you not die?
I did die. I'm looking around.
Wait, where's the birthday party?
So where you come from? Where our bodies
come
were?
from? Yeah.
If you just go through that first door right ahead of you
The first door right ahead of
in
me?
the hall.
Oh, I found the. I think I found the computer.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Better than me.
Oh, I found a circuit breaker.
Oh, fascinating. I found the door. Oh. Oh, I picked up all your shit instead of all mine. Oops.
Whoops.
It's okay.
It's the same shit.
Almost. You now have my, Oh no, we both have it. Okay. I'm gonna stand guard near our stuff.
Alright, where do...
Oh, he's coming back.
Where's my door? There's my door.
I'd wait to come in through the door.
Oh, well, too late.
Oh, he's slapping over here.
Oh god, yeah, I see the codex.
Yeah. My man's slapping nearby.
He sure is.
Did you already revive?
Yeah. Where are you?
I'm hiding behind the bookshelves in the room that we died in.
Oh.
Did you see the party though?
No.
I'll take you to it. Hold on.
Yeah, take me to the party.
Hide. He's coming back. Man, this guy do be slappy.
He do.
I fucking hate this level, mostly just because it's dark as hell.
Yeah.
And my flashlight doesn't seem to do shit. Okay, he's gone. Pussy Man does not want us to come to his party. Well, he shouldn't have invited us then.
Yeah.
Okay, party's this way.
There's a party in my pants. Oh yeah, there is.
Oh, I can pick up a party hat.
What?
You can pick up a party hat.
Oh my fuck yeah.
Can you wear it?
I fucking hope so.
Oh, I pushed you.
You're wearing it.
Oh,
You're wearing it.
Yes.
Am I wearing it? Wait,
hold
take a
on.
question. Am I wearing it?
No, you're not. You have to push
What
use.
the fuck? I don't see it in my inventory though.
What the fuck?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah!
Yeah!
It's a party and I'll cry if I want to.
All right, what does this even actually say? Let's fun the guests?
Let's fun the guests.
Let's fun the guests.
Sure.
Press this.
Press it. See what happens. Can't.
Probably a bad idea, but
Yeah, no, press it. See what happens. Can't get any worse.
sure.
You press.
Nothing
Oh,
happened.
nothing happened?
I did.
Oh, we need electricity.
Oh yeah, I guess we
Oh,
do.
the circuit breaker.
Oh yeah. Did you say you had a fuse?
I don't. I don't believe I do. No, I
Oh, you said
don't.
you had one. I mean, I would have it now.
Yeah, you would. Hold on, let me pull back out my...
Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're good. He's nowhere nearby.
Cool. Alright, I think this is the master computer. Yep.
Okay, cool. You have the codex?
Yeah,
you should have it.
Oh my god, I do, but how the fuck am I supposed to look at this
Oh, here, you look at the
without the light?
you look at the codex. I'll do the computer.
Yeah. Well, this doesn't help because you don't know what it's supposed to say.
Oh wait, hold on. Point the light down at my keyboard, please.
Yeah,
At the keyboard.
it is.
No, it's not. Angle it. Okay, there you go. Wait, nope.
Yeah, you're on the opposite side.
Okay. Can you just move your flashlight around? I'll tell you where to stop. Go back the way you were going. Is it lit up for you?
Yeah.
The keyboard?
Okay.
There. Oh wait.
I don't
There
know
it is. There it
what
is. There it is. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Angle it to the left a little bit. All right. Some more. Down a little.
I can't go anymore. Okay.
Oh, there. Okay. Left. Down. Okay. I need to find the B. Go up just a bit. It's a little hot, more than just a bit, but it's fine. Okay.
It's as close as I could get.
Oh, that's all the stuff you typed in. Shit.
Oh, yeah?
Oh! Run!
Oh, hi, Squelchy.
Fucking Squelchy!
I can't I could not see shit.
Oh, no, Yiggy. Yeah,
I got stuck. He cornered me.
Yeah, when they corner you, there's nothing you
Oh,
can
I
do
was
about
right
it.
next to a locker?
Yeah, when they corner you, there's nothing you can do about it, unfortunately.
I was right next to a locker.
Oh, no.
Oh
Why
my
did I do the Freddy
God.
Fazbear scream?
I was right next to
Please
a
clip that so I
locker.
can see what you mean. Alright.
I could have fucking hid so easily.
I'm down in some liquid, so I'm not all bloody. Can't see. Where am I? Okay, so we need to find fuses. We need to do the lights first.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck me. Where am I? I don't know. I can't see. What the fuck's happening to me? I'm running, but he's also— oh, he got me.
Alright, I think that's our cue, though.
Stomping around. Fucking asshole.
He's right outside my locker.
Yeah, I heard that. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go around as
Well,
it goes.
I want to see something.
There's a— oh, wait, no, that's my door. I don't want to open that yet.
I want to see what happens when you run out of lives.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're getting close, so—
Well, I'm on my last life.
oh, are you?
Call me Puss in Boots the way I'm out of lives.
Call me Puss in Boots the way I am not doing well. I'm just trying to find— yeah,
And
yeah,
of course
yeah.
he's gone.
I know my door's right there. Piss off. Leave me alone. I'm trying—
You're done with your party hat?
oh, yeah. That just takes you back the way we came.
That's so tragic.
It's my party, and I'll cry if I want to, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not like any of my friends showed up.
fucking assholes. Yeah, I know where my door is. You don't have to fucking keep magicking me to it. I'm trying to look around. Oh, there's a blue door down here. You've got to be so fucking serious right now.
What?
I found where we need to go.
Oh.
You're actually really close to it.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, go down this hall right in front of you. Yeah, good job. Book it. Oh wait, no, that other way. Come back. Sorry. Once you go out this door, and you're back into the room with the supercomputer, there's a door at the end of the hall.
God, what the fuck?
What?
Oh my God, that's you!
Yeah, it's me. Come on.
That's horrifying!
Just ignore it. Come on.
That's terrifying!
Okay, come on.
Scared the shit out of me!
What is it?
What?
What is it? What does it look like?
It's just a shadow man!
Oh.
You're just a
Door.
shadow!
Door. You have the key card?
I mean, you are the one who had it, and I don't have any interaction icon.
Shit. Okay, wait here for me. I'll be right there.
Oh my God.
I gotta go back to my door. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't have any key cards in my inventory.
Yeah, I have it. I have it. Let me get back to my fucking door real quick. Shit.
But remember, we traded inventories.
Yeah, but it may have just kept the key card on me.
Maybe.
Okay. Or the key card doesn't carry over? Because I don't
know.
I don't see it in my inventory either. Well, shit, if it doesn't carry over, we're so fucked.
I mean, it has to. There's no way back to it.
Yeah. Leave me be. I'm being chased.
Oh, Wait, I want to kill him. I want him to kill me.
Well, that's cool and all. He's trying to kill me.
Hey, bud! Hey! What? Hey, introduce me to death.
Introduce
That wolf
me
is hot.
to death.
Introduce me to him.
Yeah, I don't have the key card either, so I also don't have an interaction button. Shit. Well.
It still says to find the luminous store and revive.
That might have been your last life. You might not be able to do it after this.
Yeah, I think it's 0 is the last, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright, hang on. Let me revive quickly while he's still around.
Yeah, he's slapping around over here. I hear him. Can you open
my
these
door.
cabinets? Shit.
Oh, there's my door. Come on, quickly, quickly. No more lives. Okay, yeah?
Okay. I don't have a blue key card anymore, Gore.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Where is he?
Probably
Where's
behind
my
you.
husband?
Yiggy running to her doom.
Come on, where are you?
Oh, hi, Raiders. Hi, Taniki. Gore, can you get a shout out for Taniki? Hello, how are y'all? I hope y'all are having a
Where
good time.
are you, husband? Bro fucking left me at the altar.
No he didn't. He's over here.
Yes! Oh, come on! Really? You're cheating on me now?
Get him away from me!
Bro, I'm fucking chasing him! Yes! Thank you! Introduce me to that hot wolf, please.
Please, leave me alone.
It just says, okay, so you died and you can spectate.
Oh, you're spectating. Okay. How was
Oh my
Rain
god, and that
World?
just leaves me as a shadow!
I hope you had a good
Wait.
stream.
Can you see me as a shadow?
Hold on, I'm in the fucking thing. I can't see shit. 1 second. Oh my god, yeah, I sure can.
So you can just have a permanent companion. to
Yeah,
help-
and I'm also gonna just take all your shit.
That's so funny.
That is definitely an interesting choice for this game.
Yeah!
To be like, here you go. You're.
I mean, again, you're supposed to be using like your proximity chat in game,
Yeah, that's true.
which I assume you can't double hear me right now.
No, I cannot.
Right? Imagine if you could though.
It would be really funny.
And it was just that. That would be so funny. It's just like spectral.
So this is just a door. There's like nothing in here. I don't
Yeah,
really
there's
understand it.
completely nothing in here.
I don't really get it.
I don't know. It's a weird design choice.
Hey, if you're gonna chase me, fucking keep it to yourself.
I wish I could see the monsters. while
Have
it's
a
a ghost
good
though.
rest. It is completely fine. But thank you so much for the raid. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry I wasn't able to give you my full attention. I was running for my life.
Yeah, with my husband.
Yeah, who I really wanted to just go to you. Oh my god! Sorry.
Where'd you go, by the way?
I'm in the party room.
Okay.
Sorry, you scared the shit out of me.
I did?
Yes.
The way I run past quickly?
Yeah.
It's so fucking funny.
It is very funny. Oh. Found him.
Oh?
Just gonna hang out here for a minute.
Are you still in the party room?
No, I'm going back to the blue door. I'm gonna go fuck with the fuse.
Alright.
But he's
I mean, don't stick your dick in the fuse box. That's...
yeah, well, it might help me, so.
Alright, I mean, hey, each their own.
Are you for real? Is he really not gonna leave?
Did you heal?
Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, I can't hear him. I mean, see him.
Let me be. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Oh, he's got me cornered. I'm fucked.
Oh?
He's got me so fucking cornered. Help!
Oh,
God!
no?
There's a hide button!
Peach is having the time of her life.
Oh, I'm hiding. I'm hiding. Go away. I don't know where I ran to. It was completely in the dark.
This is such a funny sight. This is such a fucking funny sight if you want to look on my stream.
What, him walking
Oh my
away
God.
from me with my head sticking out of the fucking...
Well, I can't see him, but looking at you with your party hat sticking outside the door is quite a sight.
Hold on, let me open your stream. Oh my god, that's so funny.
It's so fucking
Oh
good.
God.
Here, just fucking...
God above, I can't see shit and I'm bleeding. He's gonna get me.
Ooh, he's gonna get you.
I need to take my fucking anxiety pills.
You know, anxiety pills.
God,
for anxiety.
that's your shadow.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
They made it so terrifying.
Yeah, why? What the fuck is this room? Not the room I need to be in.
He's squelching.
Yeah, he is squelching down there. Swear to God, if he is still in this room. Okay, good.
You know, this game is a lot less scary when you're a ghost.
Yeah, and you can see everything.
Yeah, and there's no monsters.
Oh yeah, that's true. There are no monsters. Where am I? What the fuck? What just happened?
You are the monster? You're right by the blue door.
Yeah, I know. Where was that fuse at? I can't recall.
I don't know.
Fucking god damn it! I ran you to it earlier.
That's actually a really good point, Diesel. Why almond water? The one nut that if you eat an extremely unusual amount of, you die from the cyanide in them.
Is that true?
Yeah, they contain trace amounts of cyanide.
Oh my god.
But like if you eat enough of them,
No,
of
leave me alone.
course.
Was that
Oh my
you
God.
standing outside of that, or is that him?
That was me.
Shit! Fucking asshole. I don't know what to do.
I don't know.
God, I just see your shadow tearing ass.
Oh, and poppy seeds contain opium.
Yes, that is true. That's why they used to give seed of the poppy for pain.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, fat ass.
Man, I'm trying to lose weight. And I don't.
Huh?
I'm making a joke. Oh yeah, so you have to eat several pounds of almonds in like a really short period of time.
Oh, well, the more you know. I didn't know that. Is he destroying shit?
I don't know.
Oh, he's stuck.
Is he?
It sounds like he's fucking stuck.
Oh my god.
Where is
Finally, I can go help my step bro.
Where is he stuck? His little fucking feet don't stop. I could just hear him clunking around right up next to me. The violins won't stop. Somebody please stop the violins.
Careful, boy! The violins!
If I leave this and he immediately kills me.
I want to find which one you're at. I hear him oh, there you are. I think he's squelching like right in here.
Yeah, he's stuck somewhere. Oh,
No,
not
I'm gonna
anymore, he's
pop
not!
your Oh!
Whatever, I'm done. I don't even know how to get out of there.
I don't fucking know, man.
That game's fucking ridiculous. Oh my god.
That was so funny.
I had fun though.
Alright. The first floor was the scariest.
Oh, absolutely.
After that, it got a bit sillier.
Yeah, which I kind of appreciate.
Yeah.
I can't take a man with a vagina for a face seriously.
No.
So, that definitely helps. Okay, I think for me, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up stream.
Same.
Okay, bet.
Because I've been going for
You've been going for a
9
while.
hours now.
Yeah, you've been going for a minute. But I am.
No, I'm going for 9 hours, not a minute.
But I am hot. My PC is
Yeah, you are.
killing me back here. Oh, thank you. Oh, Morrison, that looks
do you have anyone on your mind
fantastic.
to raid? It was?
Morrison posted art in the server. In my
Oh.
Discord server that I think they drew.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's very, very gorgeous. I think they're still in chat, so I wanted to say it while they were here.
Yeah, I don't have anyone in particular I'm looking at raiding.
You wanna raid my friend Eve? Playing Persona 3.
Sure. Ooh.
And he just started 15 minutes ago, so we know for a fact he's not gonna go anywhere. Here, I'll send you.
Yeah.
Go.
Evening Star.
Ch. Don't you also have a ch?
I do.
Aren't you also Yigi ch?
I'm Iggy Ch. Yeech.
Why's he got his tits out? I love that for him. Sorry, I didn't actually see his chat because I was like, I didn't actually see it because it was the ad. And so when it popped up, I was like, why has this man got his tits out?
You know.
That is what it is.
I respect it.
Yeah.
No.
Anyways, I had a good
Don't
time.
get raid message.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a good time.
Grab a raid.
Shame that Ducky had to like.
Shame that Ducky's entire.
Shame that Ducky went to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, absolutely. However, I still had a very good time. I'm gonna be streaming again tomorrow. I don't know what your plans are, but.
I'm stuck here for another 184 hours.
All right,
so...
then we'll both still be streaming tomorrow, probably at different times, but you know. So I will see all of y'all
stuck
tomorrow.
Here?
Yiggy is stuck here, so you will see Yigs tomorrow as well.
And the day after, and the day after that, and the day after that, and
Yeah, we love that. Anyways, the raid's about to go off, so.
Yeah,
Bye!
Alright, I sent mine over.
Alright, just sent mine over too.